They certainly are, Panda, and we have noticed a late change to the Wangaratta Magpies. It looks like Josh Smart will take his spot. He's running out in the jersey number 24 for the Wangaratta Magpies.
Is that Harry Smart?
Harry Smart, pardon me. And Harry was listed as the third emergency, so we'll work out who that final change is very, very shortly.
Yeah, of course. We'll get that to you as soon as we can. We'll send Scott Montgomery boundary side for the Newmarket very soon. Repeating the scores in the twos as well. Albury have gone through over Yarrawonga.
I reckon it's Juice Newton, boys, just quietly.
You can't see Juice out there.
Nope.
That is huge.
I can. He's just run through the 50. Run past Dan Shake, the yellow boot.
Freaky's got better eyes than you, Gus.
Hang on, let me get the binoculars on.
Wow, there he is.
No,
there he is. Out there. Yeah.
There he is.
There he is, the Wombat. There he is.
Would have ruined our scorecard question and everything if Juice wasn't playing.
How'd you miss him? He's 6'4".
Oh, I just wasn't using the binoculars, mate.
Dearie me. The Albury Tigers, as we said, not too far away from running out on the WJ Finlay Oval. 10 minutes until pre-game. Guys, really quickly, he's the most important player on the ground today is Cal Moore. Who do we think is going to get the first crack at him? Hamish Gilmore or Lucas Conlon?
I think I'll send Hamish Gilmore to him first. And I think the only reason they'll do that, Panda, is he's been given the task on Cal for the last two times these sides have met. Me, personally, I think Lucas Conlon's the best one-on-one defender in the competition and is the only one that can compete with him in a strength capacity, but we know Gilmore's got that additional height.
He does, but I love the fact that what that allows Lucas Conlon to do, to be that drop-off, and because I think he's nearly 1 or 2 in the intercept marks in the comp too, so I think that's going to be his role today, sit in that hole and just zone off and sit in front.
Yeah, I definitely think Gilmore will get him all day, and as Monty said there, it's probably more so what the players around him, like Jesse Wilson and Lucas Conlon and Bryden Hodgson can do then off him, come over as the third man up as well. So I think Gilmore will get the job, and if he does start to get taken to town, then they might make the swap. But I think that matchup will be all that.
Repeating our Ray White Rural netball updates as well. Lavington were too good for the Wangaratta Magpies in the A-grade netball, and they will move through to the second semi-final next Saturday for a spot in the grand final. That is pre-game done and dusted on 2AY and 3&E for Baker Motors. On the other side of this, our first quarter for A-grade oils and batteries. It's the qualifying final. The Tigers and the Pies. And on O&M Live, you won't miss a thing.
And we're clear.
Grossman.
Looking for somewhere great to eat? Check out Social Dining and Bar. And right now, you can get a crumbed barramundi fillet served with chips and dill hollandaise from just $22. Come and be part of it all at Social Dining and Bar at the SS&A.
Pain or injury can stop you from living life to the fullest. Albury-Wodonga Private Hospital specialises in advanced orthopaedic services and offers a full range of care from diagnosis to surgery and rehabilitation. Get back to the life you love with our support.
Go where you can live and learn locally. Go where students come first. Go for the choice of 120 courses across 11 campuses. Go for it with GoTAFE.
0.0% alcohol. This changes everything. Rewrite the rules. Carlton Zero.
Adroit Insurance and Risk, your local insurance advisor, able to tailor insurance programs to support your business.
And we're proud to support our local community. How many subscriptions do you have? One for entertainment? And one for news? And meditation? One for sport? And one for music? Whatever you're into, you can now manage select paid subscriptions in one place and save up to 10% with Optus SubHub. Discover what's trending and save by bundling them all together. Streamline your subscriptions with Optus SubHub. It starts with yes.
GoTafe is hiring, and we want you on our team. Flexibility, professional development, generous remuneration, and a staff wellbeing program are just a few of the great benefits we offer. If you have a passion for your skill or qualification and you're looking for real work-life balance, then GoTafe is the place for you.
GoTafe is leading,
inspiring,
hands-on,
flexible, fabulous.
We have dozens of trainer positions and corporate roles open right now. Get in touch today.
At 2AY, we're your home of live sport. Every weekend, we bring you the best live broadcast.
First quarter action for A-grade oils and batteries. Love supporting the local area, do the guys at A-grade oils and batteries, and they love supporting us here on O&M Live. Brought us one of the great pre-game feeds as well, thanks to Aroma Deli Cafe. Nice little anti-pasto salada party, the bickies. It was unreal. So a big thanks to the guys at A-grade.
That was gone by the time I got here. Where did that go, boys?
Get here on time.
Exactly right. Building up to the qualifying final, Albury versus Wangaratta. A big crunch game here at the WJ Finlay Oval. Blake Panderescott with you, Gus McLeod, Brad Freak, and Scott Montgomery, boundary side for the Newmarket. How are conditions out there, Monty?
Yeah, beautiful. Not much wind at all, boys. Sun's out, not a cloud in the sky, and the ground's got great grass coverage, as it always does down here at the WJ Finlay. And I reckon it's going to be a really quick game, boys. I think we spoke about maybe 10 goals plus. I reckon I'm going to go about 17 or 18 each. It's going to be really high scoring with the way the ground is.
Monty, we just saw Matt Grossman emerge from the Wangaratta change rooms in a T-shirt. He is the late out for the Wangaratta Magpies today. Firstly, how big of a loss is that for the Pies, and what's Harry Smart, the emergency, going to bring to the lineup?
Yeah, I think he's a massive out. He's the runner. He's the guy that drives them from half back, and he can also play that key defender role if needed if one of our big boys go down. So I think Harry Smart may have to play a bit of a defensive role through the middle of the ground, or as a small forward, be one of those two roles, I think, for him.
Brad Freak, who's on our 40-wing stat sheet today we're keeping an eye on?
Yeah, on the Albury Tigers side of things, we've got Jake Gaynor, who I think's really building into his season now, Elliot Powell, Anthony Miles, Riley Bice and George Hall-Smith. And for the Wangaratta Magpies, we've got Dane Porter, Cam Barrett, Callum Moore, Dan Sharrock and Liam McVeigh.
Couple of big names there to keep tabs on, of course. Freaky, your stat sheet was a bit of whiteout on there today, mate. We had a few players that you were going to be taking tabs on, just banished from that stat sheet. Monty, we're feeling a little bit of a breeze up here. We're on the deck at the WJ Finlay, a little bit of elevation. At ground level, is that breeze going to take any effect on this contest?
Nah, down here, boys, you can barely even feel it. It's not a breath of wind, so if anything, it's slightly heading down towards the city end, which is the way that the Wangaratta Magpies will kick after Dane Porter won the toss. So, yeah, it's probably not even a goal, I wouldn't think, boys. It's a beautiful day out here, not much going on.
Still a couple of minutes, I should say, to the first bounce. Repeating in the A-grade netball for Ray White Rural as well. Lavington have moved through to the second semi-final to take on Yarrawonga next week. And a couple of, one big laid out for the Wangaratta Magpies lineup. Matt Grossman, premiership star, he is out and he's been replaced by number 24 Harry Smart. No late changes for the Albury Tigers. The only change is a jumper change to Jesse Wilson, who left his in how long? He's wearing the number 35. He usually dons the 31.
Well, one question's probably already been answered as well, boys. We spoke earlier in pre-game about Jake Page potentially doing a run with roles, gone straight to the bench to start the game, so probably means that there's going to be no run with role to start the game.
And just quickly, boys, Braden O'Hara's come up to a wing, so I think that might be just to try and get him on the outside with his electric foot skills and try and get it inside 50 with a guy that can kick it the way he does.
Look at Monty. He's just camped down there in his own little spot. He's got a chair down here. He's getting the pins out as well. We might get Dougie Greshke, our cameraman, to spot that one for us.
I don't know if you want to spot that one, Panda.
Yeah, I hope he turns the brightness down. Yeah, absolutely. Turn that contrast down.
Hello to you if you are watching on our O&M Optus TV as well, or listening via 2AY or 3&E. finals time, and the SS&A Ovens of Murray is about to get underway. The umpires are just waiting officially for 2 o'clock to start. Repeating
as all good umpires do.
Absolutely, yes. Don't go out too early. That's the main message to the sides out there. Albury up against Wangaratta, of course, met in the 2018 Grand Final. Still 13 players running around combined for that game, Gussie.
Certainly is, Panda. 8 of those with the Albury Tigers and the remainder with the Wangaratta Magpies. Ironically, some of those players will be ones you don't suspect that actually played in that game, like Reece King, only played the 13 games that year.
And of course, that was Albury's last finals win as well. It's been 5 years. 2 o'clock on my watch.
Geez, Albury, you would be stiff if you follow Albury and Essendon, wouldn't you? A long time since you've seen a final win.
Absolutely.
And that's the last comment from Scott Montgomery.
Pre-game done and dusted. The first quarter for A-grade oils and batteries about to get underway. The umpire holds the footy aloft. It was a short old siren, but here's Gus McLeod on O&M Live.
Finals footy in the SS&A Ovens and Murray. Great to have your company on O&M Live. Sharrock gets the ball up forward for the Magpies to start this contest. 2 Tigers there. Now it's Hodgson. And Liam McVeigh joins in the action as that ball spills out of bounds 60 metres from the Wangaratta Magpies goal. Will bring the footy back into play early days.
Boys, Hamish Gilmore has got that big job we spoke about in the pre-game on Cal Moore deep in the goal square.
So 30 seconds elapsed here in the qualifying final. It's on the A.T. Jones time clock. Footy comes back into play. Newton won the tap down for the Magpies, brought it to ground level. Hall and Smith on the 40-wing stats board now as he gets it towards O'Hara. In fact, Anthony Miles, I should say, is wrapped up in a big Daniel Sharrock tackle and will ball the footy up right on the paint of 50, Panda.
We will indeed. Beautiful blue skies in Wangaratta. Of course, the town that's going to host the first couple of days of the SS&A Ovens and Murray final series. Fraser Ellis jams it on the boot. Quick snap inside forward 50. It's all Tigers there. Lucas Conlon zoning off as he does best. Going in hard there for the Wangaratta Magpies was Wade. He tapped it to a little pocket of space. Miles wins it, but his kick is going to be intercepted by Fraser Ellis. 60 from home for the Pies. Goes really short inboard and finds
White-eye?
Yeah, no, Tyler Norton. He's too far from home. Goes into the pocket looking for Juice. He wanted a free kick, did Juice. The umpire not buying it. Boundary throw in. 15 around from the Wang Magpies goal.
Yeah, really smart play there. Jakey Cano clearly outsized, but just got his body in the way and pushed Juice out of the way. Probably could have got a free kick, but really smart play by Jakey Cano.
So Wangaratta Magpies done all the attacking early here. Muller, front spot in the right ruck, went through his fingers. Sharrock inboard to Porter. Now it's Moore from the standing start. He's hit the stick. Callum Moore, he looks very dangerous in these positions. He's took it out of the pack and snapped it straight away and hit the upright for a minor score. Wangaratta lead 1 behind to the Tigers, yet to score thanks to Steel Line.
First quarter action for A-grade oils and batteries, and as we said, a ripping little platter in pre-game. Hamish Gilmore has the ball for the Albury Tigers at half-back. Of course, the elimination final tomorrow as well between the Rovers and the Dogs across the road. Kick down the line's been intercepted here by Chris Knowles. His kick, though, was a shocker. He's turned it right over to Riley Bice, and he jams it on the boot really quickly. Elliot Power couldn't mark forward for the Tigers. He was brought down in a strong Luke Saunders tackle, and he hand passes it to Dane Porter.
Porter kicks the centre half forward for the Wangaratta Magpies. Wilson made a good contest. Holland Dean now for the Pies. He's on hands and knees, and the Tigers arrive in numbers. Ooh. And he's paid a free kick here, Monty, for the Newmarket Hotel.
Yeah, hold on the footy, free kick, very hot on it, but as long as they're consistent with the boys, we don't mind.
Now it's with Grills. He goes over the top to Bryden Hodgson. Handball on the showground side to the co-coach Anthony Miles. He goes to the right foot kick to centre half forward. Not his best kick. Happy to see this one across the boundary line as Knowles. Doesn't quite have enough legs on it though. The Magpies, they clear defensive lines up to the showground's wing. We've got a whistle and an advantage as the Magpies go into attack.
Yeah, it was a bit of a grubber kick there from Holland Dean. Gilmore first there to arrive for the Tigers. Duncan did well. And here's Jesse Wilson calmly across half-back, goes short to O'Hara. Just the one behind. Couple of minutes played on the Macca's time clock opening term. Muller kicks to half forward. Oh, Elliot Powell with an elite body and paint mark of the day. Stretches high, goes inside forward 50. Drilling ball looking for Garlett. He's gone to ground. Boarding Nong under there. Cole behind a Hennessy gets pushed off the ball. King applying defensive pressure, and Sharrock just clears it as far as he can for the Magpies. Ball on centre wing.
And they've struggled to get past this point on 2 consecutive occasions now, the Magpies, as Bryden Hodgson switches for the Albury Tigers onto the outer side. Byrne with a low chiseler. Anthony Miles has got plenty of space as he sends the Tigers into attack. Noel sat in the hole, wanted a free kick. Holland Smith kicks on goal, and all alone in the square is Riley Bice, and he gets the first goal of the qualifying final. It goes the way of the Albury Tigers, and they move the ball clinically from defence into attack.
Yeah, how good was that? They win the 50-50 ball here on the wing there. Wasn't a great kick coming out of defensive 50 from Wangaratta. Albury swooped on it, and great switch of play by Bryden Hodgson, and really opened up there, and a great vision there from Holland Smith to find an unmarked man in the goal square.
Had the 3 first inside 50s of the game, did the Wangaratta Magpies on the 40-wing stat sheet. Albury have had the last 2 and ended up with that goal there. 3 early disposals for Anthony Miles for the Albury Tigers, and 3 each for Dan Sharrock and Dane Porter for the Wangaratta Magpies.
He's a star as Riley Bice, of course, featured heavily in the interleague contest as well. And he keeps getting better and better, does that young man, and who knows where his football will take him over the next few years. So Albury draw first blood in the qualifying final. 1 straight 6 over the Magpies, 1 behind. Muller win a lot of hit-outs today. Here's Porter working hard for the Magpies. Muller going in hard again. We know he loves to get his hands on the pill. Chris Knowles goes by hand to Sharrock. Left foot, kicks out to the showground side. Half forward. Ball hits the deck. Byrne under pressure. His hand pass was intercepted by McVeigh. There is a whistle, though, Monty. A free kick to the Tigers.
Yeah, I think it was in the back. I think the tackle might have just lingered a little bit longer from Paddy Warner there on Maxi Byrne, and yeah, just fell into his back. So probably the right call there from Ash Broughton.
5.5 gone on the Macca's time clock, and Maxi Byrne has got the ball for the Albury Tigers in his own defensive 50.
He's going to go with a low chiseler. It's a nice-looking kick. Reece King, his first game back in the side. Of course, didn't play last week for the Tigers. 1 of 7 inclusions today. Kicks in the Muller direction. Barrett flew across the pack. The Magpies get it up to centre wing, but Reece King intercepts nicely for the Tigers. Over the top went Wontagong Jim. Here's a go for Miles. Inside forward 50 go the Tigers. Heiner Hennessy's backing back. Spills out towards the back of the contest. Well done by Saunders. Evaded a couple of Tigers on a 1-2 with Norton, but he runs straight into George. The Magpies are lucky to escape here, but the ball's in the hands of Isaac Muller. Now Gainer for the Tigers.
Yeah, chiselling kick into the pocket, and it's been marked there by Riley Bice, and he'll go back 35 metres out in a pretty tight angle.
That sort of defensive pressure is what you want to see from your top guys, and George Holland Smith laying that tackle didn't allow Saunders to just break out of the defensive 50 and find a target, and then of course Isaac Muller chopping it off, and well done by Jakey Gainer again to find a target inside 50.
4 early disposals for Anthony Miles as well on the 40-wing stats sheet, and 4 as well for Dan Sharrock to start this game.
So Riley Bice kicked the first goal at the 4th minute mark. He's lining up for goal number 2. He's got a lovely left foot, does Riley Bice. He loves kicking goals, and the Albury Tigers have got 2 early ones here in the qualifying final. 2 straight 12. The Magpies 1 behind on the Steel Line scoreboard. We played 7 minutes for the Macca's time clock.
Had the first 3 inside 50s of the game, did the Wangaratta Magpies, but Albury have had 4 out of the last 5. The ball's really lived in their forward half, and it's been through Riley Bice. He's kicked the 2 goals in the game so far. He's had the 3 disposals, and Anthony Miles in the middle of the ground as well. He's had the 4 disposals for the Tigers.
Yep. Boundary side for the Newmarket Hotel, Scott Montgomery.
Yeah, just Dylan Van Burley's come off, boys. So obviously a bit of a structural change down back. We've gone a little bit smaller with Harry Smart going back there.
7.5 minutes gone thanks to A.T. Jones. The Tigers lead 2 straight 12 to the Magpies, just the 1 behind. Back in the centre. Powell left it behind. Now it's Gainer for the Tigers. He was held. Umpire let that one go. Now Gainer goes forward over the top to Grills. His handball turned it over, and the Pies have numbers in support. Over the top, it's the captain, Dane Porter, streaming forward for Wangaratta with a high raking kick inside forward 50. Moore wants it to hit the deck. Burns to provide some support. Now Hollandine evades a bit of trouble, gets the ball back into a bit of space. Gilmore's working hard. Snap on goal from Berry. He's kicked it. Sunjan goal today, and against the run of play, Joe Berry kicks a goal, Monty, and that is why he's proven to be one of the best youngsters in this Magpies lineup.
Absolutely, just used his body to perfection there, didn't he? Did not give up on the ball and let it out, and just went all in at it and got it. Kicks the goal. What a good finish from Joey Berry. This is why Wangaratta rate him so highly.
Dane Porter is impressive in that link-up play there for the Magpies. He's had the 4 disposals to start this game on the 40-wing stat sheet. To keep touching on 5 inside 50s now for the Wangaratta Magpies to finally get their first goal on the board in this game.
Lots of youngsters in that Wang Magpies lineup. Marjanovic, also Joey Berry. We have Hollandine. So good for young Joey Berry, who's enjoyed a pretty good start to his senior career. 3 games in the 7 goals. Back in the middle of the ground, the Magpies trail by 5. 12 plays 7. Here's Jake Gainer. What a 4 weeks of footy he's had. Kicks it to half forward, and all alone is Wollongong Jim Grills. Too far out to score at half forward. Beautiful kick into the pocket looking for Jacob Conlon. Here's Tom O'Brien. Hand passes it to Garland, who's always tricky and nifty. Hall and Smith falling over with a diving hand pass. Murray Waite has been grabbed high. Umpire says play on.
No, I totally agree with the umpire there, Pando. I reckon he played for that one a little bit too much, and it was a good tackle by Elliot Power.
You're a hard man, Scott Montgomery, and there's a ball up, 60 out from Albury's goal.
We played 9.5 minutes for A.T. Jones. Gainer for the Tigers. Just left it behind. Whiteside Tua paddled it forward for the Magpies. Now Heiner Hennessy joins in the action. Sharrick's on hands and knees, just trying to bury his way through. And the umpire says we'll ball it up 10 metres in from the boundary.
4 early disposals for Anthony Miles on this 40-wing stat sheet. Jake Gaynor, who's getting busy, he's up to 3 disposals as well.
So ball up now. Muller and Knowles. Give that one to Knowles in the ruck. Hall and Smith wrapped up in a big Cam Barrett tackle. And we'll ball the footy up in the same spot once again. First quarter action thanks to A-grade oils and batteries here on O&M Live, and the Tigers lead by 5 points.
2 early goals to Riley Bice for the Tigers, 1 to Joe Berry for the Wangaratta Magpies. Jake Gaynor just running out of room a little bit there, and there's going to be another boundary throw in, 50 out from the Albury Tigers goal. That baby's certainly not enjoying the qualifying final. How can you not enjoy a day like this, Brad Freak?
No, certainly. It's a beautiful day for football and absolutely pristine conditions, and the deck out here is sensational as well.
It is indeed, repeating in the A-grade netball as well. Bree and Tam doing a wonderful job.
Stealing our lollies.
Absolutely. Lavington, too good for the Magpies. Sharrick kicks to centre wing, and it's been marked here by Hollandine. He's got options aplenty at half forward. He kicks it nice and deep, trying to get out the back. Juice Newton falls his way, tries to claim the mark on Conlon. Conlon brought him to ground without the ball, and it's a free kick here to Juice Newton in the pocket.
Yeah, good call there from the umpire. Just held on a little bit too long there, Lucas Conlon. Juice Newton will go back here, and this is what he's in the side for, isn't it? We know he only has to have 4 or 5 touches to really impact the game, and this is where he'll go back, and I reckon he'll put it through post high, boys.
And I think that's the way the Maggies are probably going to play today, move the ball quickly and allow Callum Moore to have that space in the forward half, and Juice as well.
Yeah, you've got to have one-on-ones everywhere, I think, inside 50, otherwise Albury will be too good to drop off.
So here's Juice Newton. Hasn't played footy for 4 weeks. He starts it to the left. It drifts back to the right. Juice Newton with a Sunjan goal that A contender. He doesn't need too many chances, and the Magpies bite back with the last 2 goals. They lead by 1 point. Early stages on the Steel Line scoreboard.
Dan Sharrick has certainly got busy in the start of this qualifying final as well, boys. He's up to the 5 disposals. Dane Porter's had the 4 for the Wangaratta Magpies. For the Albury Tigers, a bit more even spread throughout their midfield. 4 for Anthony Miles, 3 each for Jake Gaynor, Riley Bice and George Hall and Smith.
Boundary side for the Newmarket Hotel, Scott Montgomery. Was that the natural curve on Juice's kick, or did the wind assist that?
No, I think that's a natural curve, mate. As I said to you earlier, I don't think there's even a goal breeze in this one, so it's not much out down here at all.
The Magpies by 1 point thanks to Steel Line. 12 minutes gone for A.T. Jones. Back in the middle, Elliot Powell breaks away from this contest with pace. Gets the Tigers inside 50, 30 metres from home. Big contest forms. No one marked it. And umpire Ash Braun's paid a free kick here. Monty, it's going to go the way of the Pies.
Yeah, Ryan Bratton just got pushed out of the way there. It was pretty blatant as he was trying to come up and spoil. Just got completely pushed. So, yeah, he doesn't miss much, Ash.
A late inclusion is Ryan Batten, and he goes to Braden Marjanovic. Of course, who's fastly becoming a more regular senior player in this Magpies lineup. Debuted last year. He's going to kick long down the clubroom side of the WJ Finlay Oval. Knowles, he takes a beautiful mark, and the Pies are away, Panda.
Yeah, Isaac Muller wanted a free kick. Not sure what for. Here's Juice Newton. Kicked the last goal for the Pies. His kick, though, that he tried to draw back into the middle of the ground has been intercepted by Anthony Miles. He wants to switch the footy to the showground side. Page does just that, goes out wide, finds Hamish Gilmore. Goes short, hangs a long time in the air, and Braden O'Hara has copped one around the chops from Michael Bordignon. That's a little welcome to the finals. Page's hand pass wasn't great, put Gilmore under a fair bit of pressure. There's a free kick here. Advantage has been paid to George Hall and Smith. Too far out to score, kicks it into the pocket, out the back, Riley Bice getting dangerous. He was up against 3 Pies. It looks like we're going to have a boundary throw in, are we? We are in the pocket for the Albury. No, we aren't. Play on. Alrighty, here we go.
I heard a whistle.
So did I, and O'Hara has it nonetheless. Centre wing for the Tigers.
And he kicks to centre half forward. Miles is the target. Great vision from Braden O'Hara. The execution was pretty good as well. Snipper Miles, mark 65 from home. Call it directly in front for the Tigers. But a very congested forward line of weight, so he goes with a chipping ball inside 50. Bit too much for George Hall and Smith. Holland-Dean just bombs it long and said, boys, let's give ourselves a chop out. The Tigers have numbers behind the pack, but here come the Wangaratta Magpies. Inside 50 goes Berry. No one to kick the footy to, so he's going to have to chase his own ball. Conlon's on the last line of defence, and Joe Berry made a go of what was nothing for the Wangaratta Magpies. Kicked it inside 50, but Monty, he needed someone to hit up.
He did. There was no one there to hit up. But Gussie, that was the problem. Kelmore would come up with Hamish Gilmore, and Gilmore missed the footy completely with that bounce. So he's got to make sure he body lines the footy a bit better, I think, Hamish.
Magpies 2-2-14. Aubrey Tigers 2 straight 12 on the steer line scoreboard. Great tackle from Grills on Saunders. Brings him to ground level on centre wing. Free kick for the Aubrey Tigers.
And 50-metre penalty, boys. Braden Janovic grabbed the footy and he stopped it straight on the ground, so right call.
That's silly, Brad Freak, on our 40-wing stat sheet.
Yeah, certainly not what you want in this start of the game as well. When Wangaratta was certainly starting to get a bit more momentum in this game, Aubrey are going to look like, through Jim Grills, might be able to kick an easy goal here.
So the co-captain of the Aubrey Tigers, they kicked the first 2 goals in this qualifying final. Wang have bit back with the last 2. Of course, he's a polo cross champion as Jimmy Grills, and a wonderful player for this Aubrey Tigers lineup. He'll kick from about 30 metres out, a very healthy 50. And this to give the Aubrey Tigers back the lead. So he's lining up now. No breeze, kicking to the bar reserve end. Likes it off the boot, no mistake from Jim Grills. The Tigers get their third, 3 straight 18. The Magpies 2-2-14. Steer line scoreboard. We have played 15 on the AT Jones time clock first term.
6 disposals for Anthony Miles to start this game. Continues his good form. He's had 32 and 31 possessions in his last 2 games that he has played. Really built into the season after obviously coming back from such a severe injury. And his partner in crime, George Hall and Smith's up to the 5 disposals as well to start this game on the 40-wing stat sheet.
How good is it to see this, boys? The umpires aren't blowing too many, but they're picking the right ones, and it's not having an influence on the game. And the players are really fighting in hard at the moment. This is finals footy at its best.
The Tigers 3 straight. The Magpies 2-2. It's a 4-point ball game thanks to steer line. On O&M Live, umpire Ash Braun in the centre gets proceedings back underway. Into the ruck for the Wangaratta Magpies. Knowles brought that one down. Miles has been everywhere. Get his numbers shortly. Off centre half back is Bryden Hodgson. Chipping ball in towards the space. Gaynor evades the tackle. Gaynor gets himself to 40 metres out and goes bang! Sunjan goal at A from Jakey Gaynor. The Tigers kick 2 goals in 30 seconds. And that is O&M footy at its absolute best.
Bryden Hodgson, what a kick there. Just kicked it out in the space. Knew there was a lot of space behind Jakey Gaynor there. Had the vision, and away he went. Just broke through the Harry Smart tackle a little bit too easily there, Jakey Gaynor, and a great finish. And Aubrey got a bit of a roll on here.
Those prime ball winners for Aubrey in the middle of the ground are certainly getting busy. 4 disposals for Jake Gaynor, 5 for George Hall and Smith, and 7 now for Anthony Miles to start this first quarter on the 40-wing stat sheet.
Wonderful finish from Jake Gaynor. And the Tigers have kicked the last 2 goals here in this first quarter for A-grade oars and batteries on O&M Live. 2AY and 3&E and O&M Optus TV. High-scoring opening quarter, 6 goals here at the WJ Finlay Oval. 17 gone on the AT Jones time clock. Blake Panderescott with you. Gus McLeod for McRae Motors. Brad Freak on our 40-wing stat sheet, and Scott Montgomery as well, boundary side for the Newmarket Hotel. No, Ruckman won that tap clearly. Going in here, Kelly. O'Brien over this footy, and Jake Gaynor trying to burst through with speed. He found George Hall and Smith with a dinky little hand pass. His kick was a bit of a grubber. Here's Colby Heiner Hennessy, gets a bit of space. His kick was half smothered. Falls to Reece King. He wants a free kick for a high, and he gets one. Scott Montgomery, 30 metres out directly in front.
Yeah, that long hair just throws back, doesn't it, when you get anything high? So the umpire saw that and paid it, and Reece King just got there first, didn't he? He wanted the footy, a bit of a fumble from Dylan Van Berlo. That's the thing, finals footy can put even the best players under the pump, and those little fumbles can cost you, as that one did there for the Wangaratta Magpies.
So Reece King, 7 games, 7 goals. Of course, this time last year, he was running around with Southport in the VFL. He had an outstanding year.
Played in the grand final for them last year.
He did indeed. I think a losing grand final to Casey, I think, from memory. Of course, he played in that 2018 flag for the Tigers as a youngster. His kick on this occasion is across the face and through from minor score. The first blemish for the Tigers, 4-1-25. They lead the Magpies by 13 on our steer line scoreboard. Tick up towards a 20-minute mark, Gus McLeod on the AT Jones time clock.
Fantastic conditions for O&M footy here today. As Saunders marks across half-back for the Wangaratta Magpies. His umpire's going to call him to play on, so he's got to kick dangerously inboard. Murray Waite marks. He had Hamish Gilmore hot in his steps. Waits, little chipping ball to Fraser Ellis. So the Magpies just trying to play a methodical brand here. Poor handball from Ellis. The Tigers win possession via a turnover. Gilmore got the ball onto Gaynor, who turned it over now. It's a high up and under. The Wangaratta Magpies clear the defensive line. McVeigh in a one-on-one with Hodgson. Trying to keep that alive is Smith. And the umpire, Ash Broughton, says, boys, we'll throw that ball back into play right in front of Scott Montgomery for the Newie.
Nearly got a touch there, boys. It was that far away, and the umpire stole it off me. I wasn't happy with that.
I'll put you one down on the 40-wing stat sheet.
Missed one.
A nearly touch.
A nearly touch.
I was a good player with 50 near touches a game, you know.
That's why you're the best, Brad Sprinkles freak, looking after our commentary team. Elliot Powell hand passes it back into traffic. Really good tackle from Jake Gaynor on Cam Barrett. And I reckon Ash Broughton, he was circling there for a long time, was Ash.
He wanted to.
He did indeed. Early crowd estimate, Scott Montgomery, I reckon we got a beauty here.
Yeah, a couple thousand, I reckon, boys, easily. So it's really filled up on the hill, and there's even right around near the canteen's really full as well, so it's good.
And the showground side as well. Sharrock was trying to play for a free kick. Jake Gaynor, another tackle on our 40-wing stat sheet. How many for him, Freak? He started very well early.
Jakey Gaynor has had the 5 early in this game.
Moore's into the ruck. Him and Muller both missed it. Hall and Smith and Sharrock in a one-on-one, and the umpire's going to pay holding the ball, Mont.
Yeah, Georgie Hall and Smith there got pinged, so I'm hoping it was for dropping the footy more so than having prior opportunity, because he didn't have much.
Sharrock inboard to Hollandine, who marks true centre wing. Broadcast side, clubroom side. The Magpies are playing fast footy. Sharrock inside 50 for Wangaratta. That is as good as it gets. Michael Newton didn't need to break stride and take a bow, Dan Sharrock. That is silver service.
So that coming from a mile away, boys. He broke away from George Hall and Smith, cut behind Fraser Hollandine. Could have got it off him first, but when it went to Bourdiong saw him coming and was never going to do anything else other than give that handball. And what a kick inside 50. You don't mind leading to that.
An elite body and paint play of the day. Can Juice Newton finish it off? You bet he can. Juice has got 2. The Magpies responded. It's a 5-point ball game thanks to Steel Line.
Dan Sharrock there with a beautiful delivery. He's up to 7 disposals now on the 40-wing stat sheet for the Wangaratta Magpies. They had the lesser of the inside 50s in his first term as well. 8 for the Magpies, 11 for the Albury Tigers, but able to be able to convert when they do go forward. As we keep touching on, Anthony Miles up to the 8 disposals in this quarter for the Albury Tigers. His form over the last few weeks has really built him into this finals footy, and he's really going well to start this game.
Notice something, Gus McLeod?
Oh, the scoreboard attendant put a 4 up, which... My maths is not great, but I'm pretty sure it's a 5-point margin, not a 1-point margin.
It is 25 plays 20, and a beautiful spinning move from Jake Gaynor out of the clearance again. His kick didn't really favour George Hall and Smith, and the Magpies win it back. Tyler Norton, confident to take a bounce in his own D50. His little dinky left foot kick asked a lot out there of Waitai Tua, and the Tigers swarm. Here's Jake Page, flicks it back to Elliot Powell, who runs into a bit of traffic. Goes by hand to Duncan. He was reefed off the football, and here come the Magpies. Marjanovic, look away handball, found Waitai Tua, who jammed it on the left boot, and his kick has been marked. Showground side, centre wing by Liam McVeigh. The Pies 20, the Tigers 25.
McVeigh, good use of strength, kicked up to half forward. Juice marks, well, quite opportunistically.
Is that off his skull?
I don't know what it touched, but it wasn't his mitts first. And Juice Newton's going to go back and test his range. He's going to have to kick this one 55 metres.
Test that hammy.
Yeah, he's been kicking well already, boys, so I reckon he'll flush this one and go through again.
So Newton to the Evans Street end. He kicks from 51 metres, strikes it pretty nicely. I reckon it's got the legs, just touched on the line. Certainly had the accuracy and touched on the goal line. Juice Newton's kicked 2 goals, 1. The Magpies 3-3, and they trail this contest by 4 points.
Big Chrissy Knowles then, they could have maybe shepherded it through rather than trying to take a mark. Might have been able to get it through because the Albury players went through their hands down there in the goal line.
Elliot Powell for the Albury Tigers. And here they go down the centre wing. It's Reece King. He's got a lot of space, runs away, bursts forward for the Tigers. Kicks to half forward. Jake Conlon's got 2 to beat. The 2 went out. Saunders, little hand pass to Norton. Here's Waitai Tua, half back. Goes down the line. The Pies move it to centre wing. Here's Jesse Smith. Wants to come inboard. It's a beautiful kick as well. Saunders in space. Not sure who's banging on a few things down below.
Got the bongo drums.
Yeah, absolutely.
Aubrey's got the music pumping in the rooms maybe still.
Don't mind it. Saunders kicks to half forward. Great jukes from Fraser Hollandine. Umpire said he didn't grab it. All righty.
I think it hit the ground on the way down, boys, yeah.
Well, picked up Scott Montgomery for the Newmarket Hotel. Almost time on in the first term for A-grade oils and batteries. It's the Albury Tigers leading by 4 points. Here's Gus McLeod for Macrae Motors.
Great to have your company on 2AY 3&E. Free kick and a whistle. Jason Rain's going to pay this one to Isaac Muller of the Albury Tigers, who goes to Elliot Powell, who's between half-back and centre wing. Showground side for the Albury Tigers. He plays on, does Powell, kicking long down the line. 3-on-1. The 3 prevail from the Wangaratta Magpies, and Michael Bordignong with a double fister sees it across for a boundary throw-in. The Tigers lead 4-1-25 to the Pies 3-3-21. That's on the Steel Line scoreboard. Hope you're enjoying today's broadcast of Macrae Motors on O&M Live.
2AY and 3&E. Right across the border northeast region. Here's Powell. Penetrating kick to half forward. Riley Bice couldn't mark. Well done there by Tyler Norton. It's a great match-up. 2 youngsters. Porter helping out his defence. The experienced campaigner. Kick comes to centre wing. McVeigh up against Hodgson. Both went to ground. Reece King swoops on it for the Tigers, and Dan Sharrock did really well to wrap him up effectively in a tackle. And we got to have a ball up on centre wing. Broadcast side here at the WJ Finlay Oval. Riley Bice with a couple early for the Albury Tigers. Juice with a couple early for the Wang Magpies.
Almost 25 gone thanks to A.T. Jones. Here's Ellis onto the captain, Dane Porter. True centre wing, broadcast side. He kicks with a downfield free kick. I reckon it's against King, is it, Monty?
It is, and I reckon it was 50-50 because Jason Rain, the officiating umpire, didn't pay it. It was the out of area Ash Broughton who paid that.
Liam McVeigh kicks in the Juice direction. Too strong, too big, too good. Michael Newton against Lucas Conlon. He'll go back 25 metres out directly in front. He looks on, Juice.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? He looks really strong in the hands and his movement's really good as well. But Lucas Conlon there trying to get the positive positioning in front. But when you've got a bloke like Juice, he just uses his body so well. It's a dangerous position to be in.
This to give the Wangaratta Magpies a 2-point lead on the eve of quarter time. Michael Juice Newton kicks truly. 3 goals in the first term for Juice. The Pies regain the lead by 2 points thanks to Steel Line. The big fella's on today, Mons.
Yeah, he's been absolutely fantastic, as we spoke about. His movement looks good. I reckon that knee's going to be sore tomorrow, but he's getting through this game, no worries at all, and he's flushing those kicks. That one went through post high again, so he's looking like he's in some fine form.
They've had 3 marks inside their forward 50, the Wangaratta Magpies, and all 3 marks have been through Juice. They've had the 10 inside 50s, while Albury's had the 12, but they've been able to generate 2 more scoring shots in this first term. So when Wangaratta is going forward, they are taking a little bit more advantage of it than what the Albury Tigers are at the moment.
So really high scoring, entertaining opening term. Let's hope the SS&A Ovens and Murray final series is like this. We've had 8 goals and 25 plays 22. The Pies with an early lead. Cam Barrett soccers it to half forward out of the centre. Here's a genuine foot race here between Murray Waite and Duncan. Waite wins out, flicks it on to Cam Barrett. He was under pressure from Colby Hine and Hennessy. Fraser Ellis kept on running. They might force the overlap here, the Magpies. Good tackle there by Jesse Wilson just to hold up McVeigh, who wanted his left foot. Wilson wins it back for the Tigers. Kicks down centre wing, but there's no one there. Cam Barrett takes an intercept mark for the Wangaratta Magpies. Looks like they're going to want to switch the footy and open up the WJ Finlay. Go short to Tyler Norton. I think he's been pretty good in this opening term.
He's just thrown his boot out of the ground, Panda, Cam Barrett.
He has, yeah. He's slipping around out there. He's only got 1 slipper on. Deary me. Hannah Hennessy
He'll
has
still kick at 65, boys.
He will. I think did Lindsay Thomas kick a goal for North Melbourne?
He did.
Without a boot on? Ages ago. That's going back a long time with Lindsay Thomas.
If you can, Barrett, are you going to try and get your boot back on? He threw it 30 metres away.
He did try to get it back on for about 20 seconds, boys, and it wouldn't quite slip on, so he just threw it away.
O'Hara, he wrapped up a big tackle there in Saunders. 27.5 minutes gone here. Can't be long to go on the A.T. Jones time clock. It's the Pies by 2 points in a very entertaining qualifying final. Saunders is in trouble there. He threw that ball. Umpire let him get away with it. And umpire Ash Broughton says we'll ball the footy up. Brad Freak, 40 winks.
Yeah, 8 disposals for Elliot Powell and Anthony Miles in this first quarter for the Albury Tigers.
So boundary throwing, tied up on the boundary line. Muller went in board to Gaynor, who just kicks it up to the half-forward flank for the Tigers. He gained about 45 metres, Panda. The boundary umpire will throw this one back into play, 50 metres out from Tigers' goal. We've hit 28 minutes on the A.T. Jones time clock. The Albury Tigers, they'd love one on the eve of quarter time, I should say.
Quickly, Monty, how good a footy is Jake Gaynor playing at the moment?
Yeah, I tell you what, he's been so good all year too, I reckon. Obviously, like a couple of injuries over the last couple of years, but he's back to his finest, and this is why Albury love having him in their side.
And here he is on cue, making space with a beautiful hand pass to Luke Daly, who goes inside 50. Garlett fell over, tried to claim the mark, and hit the deck, Jeffy. Is he going to get Pink holding the ball. He isn't. Ball up 30 metres around from the Albury Tigers goal. And as Gus McLeod said for Macrae Motors, they love a late one here. 27 plays 25. The Magpies lead. Barrett tries to mark it. Heine Hennessy was playing for a high free kick, and Ash Broughton, one of the best in the business, not paying it. As the siren sounds to end a very entertaining first quarter at the WJ Finlay Oval. The qualifying final between the Tigers, pardon me, and the Wangaratta Magpies. It's the Magpies with an early lead, 27 plays 25. Remember, on O&M Live, you won't miss a thing.
Looking for somewhere great to eat? Check out Social Dining and Bar. And right now, you can get a crumbed barramundi fillet served with chips and dill hollandaise from just $22. Come and be part of it all at Social Dining and Bar at the SS&A.
Pain or injury can stop you from living life to the fullest. Albury Wodonga Private Hospital specialises in advanced orthopaedic services and offers a full range of care from diagnosis to surgery and rehabilitation. Get back to the life you love with our support.
Go where you can live and learn locally. Go where students come first. Go for the choice of 120 courses across 11 campuses. Go for it with GoTAFE.
0.0% alcohol. This changes everything. Rewrite the rules. Carlton Zero.
Adroit Insurance and Risk, your local insurance advisor, able to tailor insurance programs to support your business.
And we're proud to support our local community.
How many subscriptions do you have? One for entertainment? And one for news? And meditation? One for sport? And one for music? Whatever you're into, you can now manage select paid subscriptions in one place and save up to 10% with Optus SubHub. Discover what's trending and save by bundling them all together. Streamline your subscriptions with Optus SubHub. It starts with yes.
GoTAFE is hiring, and we want you on our team. Flexibility, professional development, generous remuneration, and a staff wellbeing program are just a few of the great benefits we offer. If you have a passion for your skill or qualification and you're looking for real work-life balance, then GoTAFE is the place for you.
GoTAFE is leading,
Inspiring.
hands-on,
Flexible. Fabulous.
We have dozens of trainer positions and corporate roles open right now. Get in touch today.
At 2AY, we're your home of live sport. Every weekend, we bring you the best live broadcasts of the Ovens and Murray football and netball. Listen this weekend on your radio or the 2AY app.
Quarter time here at the WJ Finlay Oval in Wangaratta. The Magpies 4-3-27, leading the Albury Tigers 4-1-25. Qualifying final, Blake Panda-Escott with you, Gus McLeod, Brad Freak and Scott Montgomery across 2AY, 3&E and O&M Optus TV. Brad Sprinkles Freak, who were our Optus quarters best in that opening term?
Yeah, on the Albury Tigers side of things, I had Anthony Miles. I thought he was really influential in the middle of the ground. I mean, there was a few blokes from Albury that you could pick for the Optus quarters best as well. Jake Gaynor could be another one thrown in there. For the Wangaratta Magpies, I thought hard to go past Big Juice Newton up in the forward half, kicked the 3 goals in that first term. One other person that I really liked for the quarters best in that first term for the Wangaratta Magpies was Chris Knowles in the ruck. I thought his ability to be able to win contests there and then drop behind the ball really gave the Wang guys a point of difference and was able to keep Calmore and Juice Newton in their forward half to be able to get that on the scoreboard like Juice was able to then. If we have a look at the 40 Wink stat sheet in that first quarter, 13 inside 50s to 10 in favour of the Albury Tigers, but Wang Magpies were able to have 7 shots a goal, while Albury only had the 5, so taking a little bit more advantage there. 5 centre clearances for Albury as well, able to get the ball out of the middle in first use, but just haven't been able to put it on the scoreboard as regularly as they like at the moment. As we look at the possessional stats, Jake Gaynor, Elliot Power, Anthony Miles, all the 8 disposals each for the Albury Tigers. George Holland-Smith had 6, and on the Wangaratta Magpies side of things, 7 each for Dane Porter and Dan Sharrock and 4 for Cam Barrett in the first quarter.
And of course, repeating our Ray White Rural Netball update as well. Big supporters of local netball, the Ray White Rural. Lavington too good for the Wangaratta Magpies in the qualifying final. Scott Montgomery, boundary side for the Newmarket.
Yeah, just listening to the two Huddles boys. Ben Reid super happy with their start. He thought they probably dropped off a little bit through the middle of the quarter and gave Albury a little bit too much leg rope through the middle of the ground, and that's when their guys started to get on top. But was really happy with the way they were going inside 50. While listening to Albury, they were really happy with their defensive end as well. Just thought they just had really clean ball movement inside when they got beaten, but when they were one-on-one, they were able to win those ones. And just an injury update, boys. Michael Duncan had a bit of work done to a hammy just before half-time and before quarter-time, sorry. And from watching now, he's just getting it iced up. So, yeah, I don't think we'll see him again, and maybe not for the rest of the year either if it is a bad hammy.
That is huge news, wasn't it, for the Albury Tigers and Michael Duncan, who's been a wonderful defender in this competition for such a long time. Played a lot of football. Second quarter underway for Wodonga Pumps and Mowers here at the WJ Finlay Oval. Beautiful day, as we've said. Blue skies, sunshine. Monty looking for a little bit of sunshine down there to tan up those pasty legs down on the boundary.
Now, it's no good, boys.
Might have put a jacket on soon, Mont. That breeze a little bit cold. Barrett, Porter, link up by hand. And here's Barrett again. Beautiful left foot kick as well, looking for Murray Wade. He's going to get a free kick for a slight hold against Luke Daly. Not happy about it, Luke, but it was there. Murray Wade, he's a little bit quiet in that opening term. He's enjoyed a pretty good second half of the year. Goes out wide to Saunders. 10 metres in from the boundary. Plonks it down the line. Here's Tyler Norton. A pocket of space emerges at half forward. It wasn't the greatest a kick, looking for Dane Porter. Jesse Smith applying a big strong tackle there on Bice, and we're going to have a ball up. 55 around for the Magpies goal. We have played about a minute in this second quarter on the A.T. Jones time clock.
Around the grounds for Binglee, the Yakandanda Roos trail by 9 points to Kiwa Sandy Creek. We've played 23 minutes in the first term. Of course, TDFL major semi-final day. And back here live, it's the Albury Tigers and the Magpies. Miles, he goes in hard against Murray Waite. We'll ball that footy up.
In that first quarter, Anthony Miles had the 8 disposals, so did Elliot Power and Jake Gaynor for the Albury Tigers.
Don't quite mark Milesy down for that one there. He got wrapped up in a big Dane Porter tackle. And Panda, this is the third stoppage within about a 5 metre patch of real estate.
Yeah, let's go back to that opening first quarter where we had 8 sausage rolls, and it was great play. Miles working in not much space, getting a clearing kick here to centre wing. It's all Magpies though. Barrett racking up the 40 wing touches, I should say, in the early stages of this second term. Beautiful kick from Paddy Warner finds Juice Newton on a searching lead again, 50 metres out on a 45-degree angle.
How good is that inside 50 work there again from Wangaratta? Barrett at the source, got the handball out and away they went. It was great handball to open up the game, and Juice Newton, you love being a forward leading into that sort of kicking.
3 goals in the opening term, lining up for goal number 4. He's going to get the distance. No, it's touched on the line again from Juice. Through from minor score. 28 the Pies, 25 the Tigers. Still early stages in this second term for Wodonga Pumps and Mowers.
Great to have your company on O&M Live. Elliot Power marks in the back pocket for the Tigers. His numbers, thank you, Brad, for 40 winks.
He's coming up for his 9th disposal of the game.
Of course, he starts games very well. Does Powell over to Miles. Dangerous ball to Wilson. Now it's Miles again for the Tigers. Inboard trying to find Hall and Smith. In front, it was Heiner Hennessy, in fact.
Got the
umpire's going to pay a free kick to Colby. And Heiner Hennessy's going to have Isaac Muller in a paddock of space if he wants to use him. He ignores the kick down the line. Now it's George Hall and Smith. Got a really nice bounce. Chiseling ball over the top to the run of Braden O'Hara. Smith hot on his heels. Braden wants to find the left. Not his best kick inboard. I reckon King got a really good tackle there. And the umpire tend to agree. Saunders applying some brilliant defensive work, and he's got his work cut out today up against Reece King, Panda.
He does. For Macrae Motors, great to have your company on O&M Live. Muller just with strength, winning out against Knowles. Knowles with a good second effort, though. Hand pass to Barrett, who's been really hot early for the Pies. Yeah, that's a free kick, Liam McVeigh. Just held the arm, Monty, of Bryden Hodgson.
Yeah, Hodgson just read the footy a little bit better. Got there first, and McVeigh just grabbed hold of that hand and, didn't let him run at the footy.
He enjoyed a wonderful year, did Bryden Hodgson. I think he injured his calf midway through the year, but played a little bit of midfield in the last couple of games. He can play anywhere, can Bryden. Kicks to half forward, sliding in, not able to mark was Reece King. It's a good battle between him and Luke Saunders. Reece King with pressure applying a tackle. Ball up, 50 out from Albury's goal, tied up against the boundary. Broadcast side, Brad Freak, 40 winks.
Yeah, Cam Barrett started the second quarter hot on the 40 winks stat sheet. He's up to 4 disposals inside the first 4 minutes.
4 minutes gone thanks to A.T. Jones. Miles kicks the Tigers at the top of the goal square. Couldn't quite see that ball, Riley Bice, which allowed Dylan Van Berlo to intercept. He kicks dangerously to centre half back. Sharrock marks. Goes for the fake handball. Opts to ignore because he's got Mark Anderson out wide for the Wangaratta Magpies. Kicks out to the showground side wing. Norton marks. In fact, he drops a mark he should have taken. Little chip kick was poor. Now he's going to have to crumb his own football. McVeigh gets the Magpies into attack. It's a really good intercept mark taken. Looks like it's Daly. Luke Daly brings the ball out. Broadcast side wing for the Tigers. And he finds big Isaac Muller across half back.
Still no goals in this second quarter. Just the one behind to Juice Newton. 8 goals in the opening term. Juice has got 3. Riley Bice has got a couple for the Albury Tigers. Jake Gaynor. O'Hara, that was lackadaisical. Just lost concentration and spilt the ball. And here's the Magpies. Jesse Smith, his hand pass wasn't great. Put McVeigh under a fair bit of pressure. Smith goes back in to try and make amends. Reece King applies another tackle. Bit of sloppy play here in this second quarter. Lots of pressure in the qualifying final. Sharrock, high half, kick to half forward. Lucas Conlon just smartly sits out the back of the contest. His hand pass was intercepted. Here's Murray Waite. Tries to run to the advantage and kicks inside 50 out the back. Juice Newton flew from behind. Powell winning it for the Tigers. He's under pressure. Look at the youngsters here for the Wangaratta Magpies. Hollandine, he hand passes it out the back of the contest, and after all that, we're going to have a boundary throw in. 15 around for the Magpies goal. Monty, a few fumbles early in this second quarter.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Just a little bit lazy with a couple of those handballs. They really needed to give them instead of just sort of popping them there. So with the heat that's on, you want to get the footy as quick as you can because you're going to get tackled very quickly.
So a ball of footy back into play, 15 metres out from Wayne goal. Moore's been quiet. He went up in the ruck. Now it's Porter for the Magpies. Wrapped up in a Luke Daly tackle. O'Hara got it for the Tigers. On to Gaynor. His kick wasn't 15. The umpires paid it. Sharrock inboard to Barrett. Barrett bustles his way through. Gets the ball onto Porter to the top of the goal square. The Tigers have numbers. Working hard is Hollandine on the last line of attack. Pinballing towards the boundary line. The Tigers are desperate to get it across. And Luke Daly does so. The co-captain for the Albury Tigers will ball the footy in, Panda. I'm going to say less than half a metre from the behind post, and the Albury Tigers' back six are being really challenged here.
They are. They're holding up, though. Still no goals. Almost 6 gone in the A.T. Jones time clock in this second term for Wodonga Pumps and Mowers. The Pies holding on to a 3-point lead. And another stoppage. 20 around here from the Wangaratta Magpies goal. Blake Pandarescott with you, Gus McLeod, Brad Freak and Scott Montgomery for Macrae Motors. Nothing like finals time in the ovens of Murray. Cal Moore with strength out of the ruck contest, snapping on goal, and it's through for a minor score. He is so dangerous in those opportunistic contests there, Cal Moore. 2 behinds for him early, Gus McLeod.
Burns got the kick-in duties now for the Tigers. He comes inboard to Anthony Miles. His numbers, please, Brad.
13 for the game now for Miles.
Dangerous kick went to Muller. I thought he had a big enough piece of it, but the umpire disagreed. Gaynor kicks it out to the club room side wing. It's going to just sit inside the field of play. And King and Norton are happy to meet head-to-head here. The ball spills out of bounds. Right in front of Scott Montgomery for the Newie.
Yeah, Reece King just does not give up until that ball's over the line, does he? Everyone else had pretty much given up on that until Norton's just going to walk it over. But yeah, Reece King goes 100 miles an hour till that whistle goes.
4-point lead to the Magpies.
It's on.
And it's on too between those two.
Norton and King are into each other here.
You
on
watch
centre
that
wing.
You watch that one, Panda. I'll keep an eye on the Sharon. 4-point lead to the Pies for CMV Truck and Bus. Coming off the bench is Berry. He left it behind. Now Gaynors at the back of the pack. Burrows his way through. Couldn't quite get past Sharrock inboard. Barrett got taken high. It's against Page. And Cam Barrett's going to be the recipient of a free kick. Inboard, he's got Dane Porter for the Pies.
Yeah, Sharrock and Barrett getting it done at the moment for the Wangaratta Magpies. Porter's kick is a bit of a tumbler. Switches the footy. The marking on centre wing here is Luke Saunders. He's a left footer, but he goes by. He's right, and it's not a bad kick as well. Finding Joe Berry here. Kicked one early in the opening quarter. Too far out to score, so he sits it to Newton, who didn't mark in the goal.
I think it's going to be front on contact, boys.
So is that against Gilmore, Monty?
Yes, it is, yep.
Alrighty. So Juice Newton is going to kick a goal from the goal square. Number 4 for Juice. He's got 4 goals before half-time. And the Magpies, they now lead by 10 points. 35 plays 25 on the CMV Truck and Bus scoreboard. A little break for the Pies, Freaky.
Yeah, certainly is. It looks like Cam Barrett's the one that's gone into the midfield and given him some life on the 40-wing stat sheet. He's up to 6 disposals already in this second term. His leg speed and the delivery of the ball has been first class in this second term.
We played 9 minutes on the AT Jones time clock, Monty, and we had 8 goals in the first term. It's taken 9 minutes to get the first and the second.
Yeah, and that just shows the way they're trying to shut the ball down around the stoppages, boys, because it was just too end-to-end. I think both coaches would have agreed with that, and they needed to make sure that they take a bit of heat out of the game so they can get through it.
Muller, he just kicked it from a standing start up to centre half forward. The Tigers, they both got poor bounces, which allowed Saunders to intercept. He goes out wide, not the best kick. Big pack forms. Hall and Smith's there. Diving on top of this one is Whiteside Tua, the best name in football. And will ball the footy up 50 metres out from the Tigers' goal. They trail this contest by 10 points thanks to CMV Truck and Bus.
Yeah, the Pies have just been able to take their run and gun out here, make it a contested game, which is suiting their inside midfielders. Saunders kicks to the middle of the ground. It was a one-on-one between Daly and Murray Waite. Murray Waite wins out. Hall and Smith applies a tackle. Waite's kick to half forward has been intercepted by Max Byrne for the Tigers. On his own D50, kicks out wide, showground side. Jake Gaynor, his number's Freaky.
13 now for the game for Jake.
And the use has been fantastic as well. Kicks to Powell. He dropped what he should have marked, but he had time to wheel onto that right foot. Kick into the pocket. Conlon got rid of his man. Spills out the back here to the late inclusion, Harry Smart, who goes short to Whiteye Tua. And he's at half-back for the Pies. They lead by 10 for Wonga Pumps and Mowers.
Monty for the Newmarket Hotel. Looks like Ryan Batten's got the job on Jacob Conlon.
Yeah, he's been there most of the day. I think Van Berlo started there, but Batten went there very early in that first quarter. I reckon it's a great matchup size-wise and speed-wise.
Tell you what, welcome to senior footy. Ryan Batten just go and play the Doug Strang medalist, if you don't mind, from last season.
He's probably in front at the moment too, keeping him goalless to this point in the game.
I was going to say, haven't called his name too many occasions. Jacob Conlon only needs a couple of kicks to be a match winner, though. On the showground side, it's Dan Sharrock with Sharon in hand for the Pies. Now it's a go for Saunders. His left foot kick up to half forward's okay. Joe Berry, an elite body and paint mark of the day, runs to 45 and kicks one of the best goals you'll see all year. He's got 2. He's electric, this youngster. And the Wangaratta Magpies extend the lead to 16 points.
What a beautiful mark there from Joe Berry. As you said there, Gus, he's kicked 2 goals. The Wang Magpies have had 6 inside 50s in this second quarter on the 40-wing stat sheet to 4 for the Albury Tigers. Just taking much more effect when they do move the ball forward at the moment, and it's working really, really well for them to start this game for the Magpies.
He kicked 4 on debut, Monty. Remember that name, Joe Berry. He's a star.
Yeah, very good player. He's got electric pace, reads the footy really well, and I reckon he's going to be one of those guys that once he fills out, he'll be that really dangerous Toby Green type size that can really take a game apart like we're seeing today. He's hit the scoreboard twice already in his limited opportunities.
Just for you boys commentating and people watching home, Anthony Miles is now wearing number 65. He did have a ripped jumper before. He's wearing number 65 now.
That's why he's one of the best Brad Sprinkles freak on our 40-wing stat sheet. So the Pies lead by 16. They've kicked the last 4 goals in the qualifying final. Jesse Smith, a big fist, clears defensive lines here for the Tigers. Miles calmly on to Bice. Here's a bit of space for the Albury Tigers. They move it to half forward. Page inside 50. Left foot kick wasn't great for Powell. He's got 2 to beat. Wants his right foot. Goes short to Reece King. Hand passes it to Riley Bice. This is good link-up play. Conlon from the pocket. Snaps and goals it. Great movement by the Albury Tigers. They break a run of 4 straight from the Wang Magpies. A Sunjan goal that they contender. Margin back to 10.
How good a pick-up was that? Elliot Power on the lead, ball at his toes, picked it up cleanly, was able to get it inside, and just really good link-up handballs there. All of them were there from the Albury Tigers inside 50. And Jacob Conlon, we spoke about him before, that he hadn't really been called his name too often, but class comes to the top and a great finish from the pocket. 12
disposals now in today's game for Elliot Power on the 40-wing stat sheet. He was influential in that passage of play there. Anthony Miles is up to 13, and so is Jake Gaynor in this first half for the Albury Tigers.
Freaky will go around the grounds for Bing Lee in the major semi-final in the TDFL.
Yeah, the Kiwasani Creek lead by 10 points, 11-1 in that game in the second quarter.
And here at the WJ Finlay Oval in the qualifying final, the Magpies lead the Tigers by 10 for CMV Truck and Bus. Congested footy in the centre, and we'll have a restart. So it's been a really interesting contest here. 8 goals in the first term. We've now played 14 minutes and just had our third. Barrett, I like his movement to the centre of the ground, giving the Magpies another look. Here's a go for Majanovic, who kicks up to half forward for the Wangaratta Magpies. Big double fister from Luke Daly. Tommy O'Brien's back in the Tigers lineup as he tracks this to the boundary. And he's happy to see that one out of bounds for a boundary throw-in. For the Newmarket Hotel, we'll cross boundary side to Scott Montgomery as Dane Porter comes for a well-earned break.
Yeah, absolutely. This second quarter has been a lot of changes, a lot more than that first quarter, boys. So I think it's going to be really important that they get these rotations right so that they got fresh legs in this last quarter.
And Monty, repeating that news for those who have just joined the broadcast about Michael Duncan.
Yeah, he had a bit of work done before quarter-time break and then had the ice applied to the hammy straight away after the siren had gone to start the second quarter.
So he's out, you'd expect, for a couple of weeks as Juice Newton kicks into the pocket. Trying to mark that one was Hollandine. The Tigers do well to keep this in. Hodgson, no, he wants the boundary line in the end. And we'll have it tossed back in 40 around from the Magpies goal. 41 plays 31 on the CMV Truck and Bus scoreboard. About halfway gone on the AT Jones time clock. And here is Gus McLeod for McRae Motors.
Cracking qualifying final here at the WJ Finlay. Muller just clears defensive lines. Brings the ball towards the true centre wing position. Heiner Hennessy in a foot race. Well done there by Michael Baldingong, who's having to work a lot higher up the ground today with Colby Heiner Hennessy dragging him far.
Number 1 on the comp for marks, Colby Heiner Hennessy.
Well, that's probably why they've sent Michael Baldingong to secure his role today. True centre wing, club room side. It's a sensational boundary throw-in back into play. I think that Van Berlo gone into the ruck there. He kicked it as O'Brien kicks up to half forward. Bit too much on it. Saunders chops out at true centre half back for the Wangaratta Magpies. He's been really good today, Panda, as he finds Barrett.
So is this guy, Cam Barrett, as well. His numbers again, Brad Freak.
7 now in the second term.
He finds another guy who's been prolific as well, Dan Sharrock. They just do not miss targets. His kick hit the deck, though, and asked Waitai Tua to run onto it. Left foot kicks a nice one, finds Joe Berry, who kicked an absolute ripper earlier in this second quarter as well, the youngster Berry. Goes short to Waitai Tua, who once again has a left foot penetrating kick, kicks to the top of the goal square. And in the hole for the Albury Tigers, working hard, is Ben Kelly, doing what good ruckmen do and taking a defensive mark. 31 plays 41. The Pies lead by 10. 16 gone on the AT Jones time clock in this second quarter for Wodonga Pumps and Mowers.
Gilmore kicks to Colby Heiner Hennessy. And Colby's going to go with a little chipping kick. It's a good one to O'Brien for the Albury Tigers. Right in front of our broadcast position here at the WJ Finlay. O&M live action for McRae Motors this afternoon on 2AY and 3&E. O'Brien kicks long down the line. Garlett's been quiet. He's involved in that contest, and so is Tyler Norton, who sees it across the paint for a boundary throw in. Brad Freak on the 40-wing stats.
Yeah, just one thing probably haven't touched on today is Wangaratta obviously coming off the bye last week with a warmish day. I wonder what the legs are going to be like come later in the game, later in today's game.
So it's McVeigh in the ruck. He goes up against Kelly. Bice kicks the centre half forward, trying to find Garlett. Now Bice has another go. Kicks inboard. Conlon, good use of the body. Too clever there for Ryan Batten, and Jacob Conlon can go back and have a chance at back-to-back goals. 35 metres out on a slight angle.
Riley Bice, how good was that? Just got on the move and he was going to blaze away, I reckon, at one stage, and saw Jacob Conlon out wide and thought, I'll set it to his advantage, and it was a perfectly executed kick in the end, and Ryan Batten just not quite strong enough in these early in his career, and Jacob Conlon a little bit too good there.
So it's Jacob Conlon kicking to the Evans Street end. This for back-to-back Conlon goals and back-to-back goals for the Tigers. The right foot kick looks pretty good off the boot. He likes it. Margins back to 4 points. The Tigers kick their 6th. And this is a cracking qualifying final for Wodonga Pumps and Mowers.
7 disposals for Cam Barrett in this second quarter. He's been everywhere for the Wangaratta Magpies. Riley Bice, as you touched on there as well, Monty, he's had the 4 disposals, starting to get busy later in this second quarter, getting himself involved. Anthony Miles and Jake Gaynor have both had 5 touches each, but Albury only had the 6 inside 50s in this second term, so just haven't been able to get the footy moving forward as much as they like. And a move that I do like as well, boys, looks like Cal Moore is going to have a run in the ruck for the last little period of the game.
What are his numbers, Freaky, for 40 wings?
He's only had the 2 disposals so far today for 2 behind, so I'd like the injection into the middle of the ground.
I do indeed as well. And there's a free kick here.
Yeah, it's going to be Cal Moore's.
It's going to be Cal Moore, so making an impact straight away up against Benny Kelly there. He's definitely got him for strength, does Cal Moore. He's got most for strength, in fact. Kicks inside forward 50. McVeigh thought he got a push there. Gilmore took the mark instead for the Tigers. Kicks it to the showground side. Garlett out the back. He takes a nice mark. Wants to play on straight away and move the footy to half forward. George Hall and Smith up against Sharrock. Miles wins out, kicks into the Reece King direction. He just let the footy go. I think he must have got called out of the contest from Conlon. Here's a chance for Batten at ground level, working hard. King goes in even further. And the umpire's circling, but we are going to have a ball up right on the red 50-metre line. The Albury Tigers kicking to the Evans Street end. They trail by 4 points, 37 plays, 41 for Wodonga Pumps and Mowers.
Kelly won the ruck tap for the Albury Tigers at ground level. 4 or 5 players from each side just lurk around this and we'll ball it up 50 from home.
If we go around the grounds in the Tlangata League at the moment, a 21-point lead to Kiwasini Creek, 23-2.
30 seconds away from playing 20 minutes in the second term. Moore in the ruck, and I like that. Straight down to Sharrock. Gains about 40 metres, or 30 metres, and Luke Daly intercepts now for the Tigers. He's going to have to come back on his mark, says umpire Jason Rain. Bradley wanted him to let that one go.
Just call play on.
So now Luke Daly.
Should do that more often, actually.
I think so too.
Just call play on.
Bice kicks fat side to centre half forward. Good looking kick. Mark's being taken by Anthony Miles. She said a change of boots and a change of jersey. All within about 35 minutes of footy. Miles kicks to the top of the goal square. I reckon it's got the legs. Anthony Miles, Sunjan goal today. Saw that no one was on the goal line, backed himself from 55, and the Tigers regain the lead for CMV Truck and Bus.
Yeah, so smart there, Anthony Miles. One, took himself forward to take a good grab there. I'd like to see that a bit more often from the Albury coach, but then also recognised that if he got around the mark quickly, he was going to kick from only 50 rather than 55. If he went back behind the mark and no one on the goal line, straight through the middle. Well done, Anthony Miles.
He's up to 15 disposals as well now on the 40-wing stat sheet with that goal. He's been really, really influential for Albury Tigers. Probably been their best player on the ground to start in this first half. He's been awesome everywhere for him. Jake Gaynor's up to the 5 disposals, and so is Riley Bice in this second term.
Had the 4 lead changes already in this game as well. It's building into a beauty. Not sure how the Wang Magpies can leave the goal square open like that. Super smart play from a super player by Anthony Miles. Pretty simple. 43 plays 41. The Magpies get the clearance to half forward. Little soccer grubber kick there. Here's Murray Waite. Met strong here by Jimmy Grills, who brought him down. They got a little bit of argy-bargy on ground level. It's what we like to see in the qualifying final. It's going to get tossed back up. Just outside 50 here for the Magpies. Spinning move was clever for Murray Waite. Dane Porter had Harry Smart as an option. Wheels around on the right foot. Kicks into attack. Great the mark there by Bryden Hodgson. Leapt early. His hand pass, though, put his teammate under pressure. And good pressure here by the Magpies. They forced a turnover inside 50. Berry's hand pass wasn't great. Page put his mate Hodgson under pressure, but the Tigers are on the bounce through Gilmore.
Gilmore kicks to centre wing. Good contest and good mark taken by Anthony Miles out in front. He's been everywhere today. We'll get his numbers soon. He has great vision to find O'Hara. O'Hara inside 50, and all alone is Elliot Powell. The Tigers move the footy coast to coast with speed and precision. And Elliot Powell have a set shot, 40 metres out, slight angle.
It's so easy when you get in your great ball, uses hands in it. Miles to O'Hara, and O'Hara, great vision. Tyler Norton tried to get up early and influence the contest on O'Hara, but wasn't able to get there, and his man Elliot Powell snuck out the back, and uncontested marks inside 50. Haven't happened too often today, but that's what you want if it's finals footy, because it's an easy shot on goal.
16 40 wings disposals for Anthony Miles as well now.
And Elliot Powell for his first look on the sticks today. Looks to be spending a bit of time in the forward line in this second quarter. Normally a beautiful kick, and that is no exception. Elliot Powell kicks the 4th consecutive goal for the Albury Tigers, and they extend the margin to 8 points off of the CMV Truck and Bus scoreboard.
9 inside 50s for the Albury Tigers in this second quarter. Unlike the first quarter, they probably didn't quite capitalise on their forward entries. They have in this second term now, being able to kick the last 4 goals of the game. Wang Magpies have gone inside forward 50 in 10 occasions in this second term, but again, just like Albury was earlier, haven't been able to just probably take as much advantage of it as they like. Cam Barrett, as we touched on, is up to 7 disposals in this second quarter, and Dan Sharrock is up to 6.
So the Wangaratta Magpies kicked 4 goals to lead by 16 points, and Albury have kicked the last 4, and now they lead by 8. Back to you, Wangaratta Magpies. In the middle of the ground, we have another stoppage. Geez, the ball movement by the Tigers right through the middle of the ground. It was outstanding. Miles and O'Hara all linking up. Great Ovens and Murray plays. Here's Cam Barrett once again with another 40 winks. Reefs it out there to the showground side. Kicks to space. Jesse Wilson against Hollandine, and we're going to have it tossed back into play. In between centre wing, in the middle of the ground, on the showground side here at the WJ Finlay Oval. Brad Sprinkles Freak for 40 winks.
Yeah, 8 disposals for Anthony Miles and Cam Barrett in this second quarter. They've been everywhere for their respective sides.
Muller won the tap down, but the Magpies have numbers. Barrett sends them inside 50. Newton bounced it in favour him for Lucas Collins. The Albury Tigers get the ball out the back. They exit defensive 50, trying to get it to Cole behind a Hennessy. Not the best kick. Balding-Yong trying to take him on. He's going to be done here, holding the ball.
Yep.
Great defensive pressure from the Albury Tigers. They had 3 or 4 players swarm on that contest. Heiner Hennessy will be the recipient of the free kick. And he looks inboard, trying to open up some space. It's a nice-looking kick. The ball's been marked by O'Brien. He's right on the edge of the centre square here at the WJ Finlay. He opts to switch out wide. It's a nice-looking kick. Grills fumbles, but he's got a bit more time to make this one up, Panda.
He does. Wants his left foot kick. Conlon Muller resting forward, couldn't mark. Here's a chance for Ryan Batten for the Pies. Like something broadcast side, Michael Bordenon had 2 Tigers to beat. He did pretty well to wrap up Heiner Hennessy and force a stoppage. And we're going to have it balled up on the point of the centre square. Late stages of this second term, 25 gone on the A.T. Jones time clock. The Tigers with the last 4. They lead by 8 points on the CMV Truck and Bus scoreboard. O'Brien back inside 50 for the Tigers. Careful not to give away a free kick there, Van Berlo against Ben Kelly. I thought Kelly was pretty stiff, Monty.
Yeah, I think it might have been one high and one around the guts as well. Probably 2 free kicks could have got then.
So we're going to have a toss back into play. 20 around from the Tigers' goal. They've been brilliant since about the halfway point of this second term. 49 plays 41.
So deep into stoppage time here. First term went 29 minutes. Kelly took it out of the ruck, handballed over the top. Haaland Smith, bit of candy but couldn't quite finish.
Oh, Jeffy.
It's touched on the line and across. I'll tell you what, Haaland Smith had so much time there compared to everyone else. He just couldn't quite execute. After all that, it's a rush behind. So the Albury Tigers, they extend the margin to 8 points here. 50 plays 41. In fact, it's 9 points as Anderson plays on from fullback. And the Wangaratta Magpies via Batten go at the showground side. Too much for Juice Newton. Lucas Conlon inside 50. The brothers link up. It's Jacob. And he's marked 25 metres out directly in front. And when you exit defensive 50, Monty, you've got to make sure you hit your targets.
Absolutely. When it's a 50-50 like that, as soon as it turns over, your whole defensive back 6 are offside because they're trying to help get rid of the footy out of there. And as you said, Jake Conlon just pops up uncontested 2 in a row now where the Albury boys have been uncontested inside 50. They're going to have to really man up a lot quicker if they're going to turn the footy over like that, Wangaratta.
So this to send the Albury Tigers into half-time with some serious momentum. Conlon's got it. Jacob Conlon, he's kicked 3 big goals in that second term. And the Tigers, they move to 56 of the Magpies 41. They kick 5 consecutive goals in that second term. And it's all shaping up for a big second half here, Panda.
It is indeed. 15-point leaders of the Albury Tigers. 56 plays 41. Our halftime show for Elders Rural on the other side of this. Qualifying final day in the Ovens and Murray, where you won't miss a thing.
A.T. Jones.
And we're clear.
Great call, guys.
Good work, boys.
Good work.
Footy's good too.
Looking for somewhere great to eat?
I've got the
Check
netball
out
wrap in
Social
the
Dining
system
and
ready to
Bar.
go for
And right now, you can get a crumbed barramundi fillet served with chips and dill hollandaise from just $22. Come and be part of it all at Social Dining and Bar at the SS&A.
Pain or injury can stop you from living life to the fullest. Albury-Wodonga Private Hospital specialises in advanced orthopaedic services and offers a full range of care from diagnosis to surgery and rehabilitation. Get back to the life you love with our support.
Go where you can live and learn locally. Go where students come first. Go for the choice of 120 courses across 11 campuses. Go for it with GoTAFE.
0.0% alcohol. This changes everything. Rewrite the rules. Carlton Zero.
Adroit Insurance and Risk, your local insurance advisor, able to tailor insurance programs to support your business.
And we're proud to support our local community.
How many subscriptions do you have? One for entertainment? And one for news? And meditation? One for sport? And one for music? Whatever you're into, you can now manage select paid subscriptions in one place and save up to 10% with Optus SubHub. Discover what's trending and save by bundling them all together. Streamline your subscriptions with Optus SubHub. It starts with yes.
GoTAFE is hiring, and we want you on our team. Flexibility, professional development, generous remuneration, and a staff wellbeing program are just a few of the great benefits we offer. If you have a passion for your skill or qualification and you're looking for real work-life balance, then GoTAFE is the place for you.
GoTAFE is leading,
Inspiring.
hands-on,
Flexible. Fabulous.
We have dozens of trainer positions and corporate roles open right now. Get in touch today.
At 2AY, we're your home of live sport. Every weekend we bring you the best live broadcasts of the Ovens and Murray football and netball. Listen this weekend on your radio or the 2AY app.
What a cracking qualifying final we have here. Brad Freak, who joins me at the moment. It sees Albury 9-2-56 leading the Wangaratta Magpies 6-5, 41, 15-point lead. And Freaky, I tell you what, that was one of the best halves footy we've seen all year.
Yeah, it certainly was. As you just touched on off air there, Mont, it's beautiful conditions out there for footy, and we're seeing a really great exhibition of skills. It's been a really tough, it's had its contested side of the game, but later in that second quarter, Albury were just able to get that little bit of open space and move the ball as we've seen them do all year. When they do move the ball, they're really hard to stop. They do cut you apart across all lines of the ground. So it's been an outstanding game of football. Let's just hope that it continues on in the second half.
I think we heard Panda say that Wang kicked 4 in a row to get to 16 points, and then Albury fought back and kicked 5 in a row to make this game really theirs. And I thought it was their back six that come on the back of. I thought they manned up a lot better. They got their matchups right with Newton really going out of the game, and Cal Moore, as you spoke about, I think only had the 2 touches up to half time. So their back six is doing their job, and they've been able to drive from there, and then for the forwards have been able to get on the end of it.
Well, it's probably been whoever's back six in different periods of the game has got on top has been able to hit the scoreboard. I would think in that period where Wayne Grada were able to kick those 4 goals in a row, I feel like their back six was on top fairly well, and especially Chris Knowles I thought was really good in that first half for the Magpies, and just dropping back behind the footy and being able to be a cut-off player for them. And he didn't have that much influence later in that term, and as we saw later in that second quarter there, Cal Moore did go on the ruck a little bit to get himself around the footy. But yeah, I think both back sixes have been really, really strong. It's been probably one forward from each team. Obviously, Juice has kicked the 4 goals for Wayne Garada in that first half, and Jacob Conlon, after he was given a rev up by Gus McLeod,
said he was no good at one stage. Yeah,
hadn't done a lot, so went out and kicked 3 goals after that in the game. So it's been able to those big key forwards that do win your games of footy come this time of the year, and Juice looked outstanding early in that game, and Jacob Conlon's really gone after it in the second quarter.
Yeah, well, Juice probably from halfway through that first quarter to 10 minutes into that second quarter looked like he was unbeatable, didn't he? And then Jacob Conlon really didn't touch the footy, wasn't sided until about the 15-minute mark of that second quarter, and went bang, 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 one after the siren as well. So he's been unreal. And the other goal kickers so far, so as you spoke about, Jake Conlon's got the 3, Riley Bice has 2, and singles to Jake Gaynor, Elliot Powell, Anthony Miles and Jimmy Grills. While, as you spoke about, only the 2 goal kickers for Wangaratta. Michael Newton has the 4 and Joe Berry with the 2. 40 wing stats, Freaky, what are they telling us right now?
Yeah, well, the inside 50s in that first half are relatively even. 21 for the Wangaratta Magpies, 25 for the Albury Tigers, and whatever team's been able to get ascendancy has been able to use the ball a little bit more inside forward 50. Marks inside 50 again are very the same. Wag Magpies have taken 5. 4 of them is Mick Newton himself, and one other one is to young Joe Berry as well. He's been really, really lively. I like what I've seen in that forward half. In the first half, if we have a look at the possession getters, I think the Optus quarter's best was probably Anthony Miles in that second quarter as well for the Albury Tigers. He had the 8 disposals, takes him to 16 for the game. At half time, Jake Gaynor and Elliot Power had 13 disposals each, and George Hall and Smith a little bit quieter in that second quarter, but they could carry on without him. The Tigers, he's had the 10 disposals. But like the Wayne Magpies side of things, I thought the Optus quarter's best for Wayne Magpies was Cam Barrett. I really liked his injection into the middle of the ground. He had the 9 disposals, which gives him 13 to half time. 13 as well to Dan Sharrock, who was probably came in and out of the game a little bit in that second quarter. I thought, in the first quarter, I thought he had a much better even quarter. Still at the 13, still had a lot of influence on this game nonetheless. And Dane Porter, he's had the 11 disposals so far on the 40-wing stat sheet in the first half.
Yeah, so really that tells us that it was really even for a bit, and then we saw Albury break away with especially Miles really getting off the chain through the middle of the ground, and probably Powell as well, and late in that second quarter.
Yeah, and he went forward as well, and later in that second quarter, and kicked a really nice goal from 52. Monty?
Yeah, I think that's probably going to happen a lot with their resting mids now, because they got one less rotation with Michael Duncan out of the game with that hamstring injury. I feel that Elliot Powell went there for the big chunks of Miles, who we saw late in that quarter, went there. Hall and Smith spent time there. So I think we're going to see that for the rest of the game, that their midfield will rotate through there, and probably one through the bench and one forward.
Well, I don't think that will hurt them too much. We've seen at different times throughout the year with Albury that start games they've had Bice play a lot of forward, and Elliot Powell's played a fair bit of forward as well. So, and they're just naturally crafty around the forward line. We've seen when the ball has gone forward, I think Elliot Power's involved in the passage of play, which led up to Jacob Conlon's first goal as well. So they're born forwards as well. They're obviously really good midfielders, but when they do go in that forward half, they're really crafty and able to set things up for goals for themselves, as those boys have kicked goals today, and set up for others.
Yeah, it's a really dangerous look when you have such a spread, with the 6 goal kickers to 2. Just shows they've got a few more options to go inside 52. If you're Ben Reid, what are you saying at half time? Are you really giving a rev up, or are you happy with where you're at? You just probably fell away a little bit and you just got to tidy a few things up.
Yeah, if I was the Wayne Grada coaching staff, I'd be quite happy with that first half, I think. If we have a look at the scoreboard, they were able to generate the 11 shots. Both teams had 11 shots on goal, and only 4 inside 50 is the difference in favour of Albury. So they've had their opportunities. They've been able to go forward. I think that they would be relatively happy. I think the one thing that is holding them in good stead, which they will keep preaching into the second half, is that contested side of the game. I think when they, especially early in that first quarter, into probably the halfway point of the second, their contested work was really strong, and that was probably the backbone of them getting into the game. I think in that last half of that second quarter, just Albury's leg speed, and they probably got a little bit on top of that contested side of the game. So if I'm Ben Reid, I'd be saying to the boys, let's get back into the contested game, because that's our way back into the game.
And then we look in the Albury coaches' room, Sean Daly and Anthony Miles, they'll be sitting around the board. Don't really have to do a lot, do they? They just got to make sure they drive that message home. They don't want to change too much and just keep pushing what they've been doing, which is try and chill them up through the middle if they can.
Well, I think, that'd be the thing. And also the fact that they probably think that with their younger players and they're probably got slightly quicker legs than the Wangaratta Magpies, and they keep a war of nutrition this game might turn into, and that's what they'd be preaching in the Albury rooms.
Yep. So this has been the Elders Rule Halftime Show. For those just joining us, we've got Albury leading the Wangaratta Magpies at 9-2-56 to 6-5-41. What we're going to do right now is get a Ray White Rural netball update, thanks to the girls, and then after that we'll be back with all the second half action on O&M Live.
This is the netball wrap, thanks to Ray White Rural, now servicing Holbrook as well as Albury. Today was the qualifying final where Wangaratta took on Lavington, and it was all Lavington from start to finish. First quarter effort of 15-10. They were out by 10 at halftime to win by 8 goals, 53-45. Wangaratta marched a comeback in that third quarter, outscoring the Panthers 6-11, but it just wasn't quite enough. They came home in that last quarter, got within 3, but then the Panthers just kept pushing. I thought for the Panthers, Maddie Lloyd was sensational through the mid-court. We gave her our O&M player of the day, and Ange DeMamuel coming on in centre in the second quarter really changed the game.
Yeah, they absolutely did. There were some great mid-court battles. For the Magpies, Ellie Cooper was fantastic, as was Izzy Newton, but a really hard-fought game in really hot conditions, a change-up for the girls, and I'm sure we're going to see another fantastic game tomorrow.
In this game, both shooters at both ends, there were a couple of changes in position. Amanda Umansky shooting 19 from 22, Georgia Clark 12 from 17, Kelly Keane 14 from 17, and for the Panthers it was all Christina Gucci 46 from 48. A phenomenal effort. Liv Sanson tipping in 6 from 9, and Brooke Wilson with 1 goal from 1. This has been the qualifying final. The winners, Lavington, will take on minor premiers in Yarrawonga next weekend. Tomorrow sees us off to the Normans Oval, where the Myrtleford Alpine Saints and the Wodonga Raiders will play off in the elimination final. The winner to take on Wangaratta next week. This has been the netball wrap, thanks to Ray White Rural, servicing Albury and also servicing Holbrook.
Great to eat? Check out Social Dining and Bar. And right now, you can get a crumbed barramundi fillet served with chips and dill hollandaise from just $22. Come and be part of it all at Social Dining and Bar at the SS&A.
Pain or injury can stop you from living life to the fullest. Albury Wodonga Private Hospital specialises in advanced orthopaedic services and offers a full range of care from diagnosis to surgery and rehabilitation. Get back to the life you love with our support.
Go where you can live and learn locally. Go where students come first. Go for the choice of 120 courses across 11 campuses. Go for it with GoTAFE.
0.0% alcohol. This changes everything. Rewrite the rules. Carlton Zero.
Adroit Insurance and Risk, your local insurance advisor, able to tailor insurance programs to support your business.
And we're proud to support our local community.
How many subscriptions do you have? One for entertainment? And one for news? And meditation? One for sport? And one for music? Whatever you're into, you can now manage select paid subscriptions in one place and save up to 10% with Optus SubHub. Discover what's trending and save by bundling them all together. Streamline your subscriptions with Optus SubHub. It starts with yes.
GoTafe is hiring, and we want you on our team. Flexibility, professional development, generous remuneration, and a staff wellbeing program are just a few of the great benefits we offer. If you have a passion for your skill or qualification and you're looking for real work-life balance, then GoTafe is the place for you.
GoTafe is leading,
Inspiring.
hands-on,
Flexible. Fabulous.
We have dozens of trainer positions and corporate roles open right now. Get in touch today.
At 2AY, we're your home of live sport. Every weekend, we bring you the best live broadcasts.
Half-time done and dusted at the WJ Finlay Oval in the qualifying final, the first of two massive Ovens and Murray days of Festival of Footy and netball in Wangaratta. And the Albury Tigers, with 5 big goals to end the second term, they've taken a 15-point advantage into half-time after the Wangaratta Magpies kicked 4 in a row and led by 16 at one stage in that second term. Blake Panderescott with you, Scott Montgomery, Gus McLeod and Brad Freak on 2AY, 3&E and O&M Optus TV. And Brad Sprinkles Freak. The Wangaratta Magpies going to have to get their hands on the ball pretty early in this third term.
Yeah, they certainly are. The midfield of Aubrey, and that's late in that second term, really got on top of them, as we touched on at half-time. Anthony Miles up to 16 disposals. I reckon he's nearly been the best player on the ground. 13 each for Jake Gaynor and Elliot Power, been outstanding. But some of their prime ball winners through Cam Barrett into the middle of the ground that second term, and he got the 9 disposals in that second quarter alone. He was outstanding for the Magpies in the second term.
Third quarter for Indigo Power, not too far away from starting. Here's Gus McLeod on O&M Live.
Big second half coming your way in the qualifying final. It's back live at the WJ Finlay with Porter for the Magpies. Inboard to Sharrock. Couple of the big ball winners linking up early. Now it's Murray Waite to send the Pies into attack. Beautiful kick to Moore. Uncharacteristic drop on the chest from Callum Moore as Byrne clears defensive lines to the Albury Tigers out to the clubroom side wing. It might be out of bounds on the full against Bice.
No.
Monty for the Newie.
Yeah, I thought it might have been a bit of a bump ball off the boot, boys. But anyway, that player's a bit closer than me, I reckon.
Fraser Ellis more than happy to say, hey, boys, I'll take a free kick here for out of bounds on the full. He looks inboard with a beautiful-looking kick to Murray Waite. He's had a couple of early touches here in the third term. Waite is going to kick to the fat side, needs a leader. And sitting in front of the contest there was Lucas Conlon. And Monty of the Newmarket Hotel, you saw Juice say, kick it higher, kick it out the back.
Yeah, that's it. It wasn't a great kick, was it? It had no air, and it was like a real punchy one, which is a nice one when there's no one in front, but Lucas Conlon has thrown it way too well.
Another beautiful kick in the middle of the ground from Anthony Miles. His efficiency today has been prolific for the Tigers. Another good kick from Daly on the Dukes at half forward, Jake Conlon. 3 goals in the second term. Like something inboard. Haaland Smith dropped what he should have marked. Jeff Garlett kicks out wide to half forward. Actually went backwards here. It's been marked by Bryden Hodgson, but the Tigers get to reset. Kicks it into the pocket on a beautiful lead. Heine Hennessy marks. deep in the pocket, showground side. He'll go back from 40 metres out.
Just smart from Jeffy, that kick. Went backwards because he knew they were able to set up and go again. And Bryden Hodgson, if he's not one of the best kicks in the Ovens and Murray, I don't know who is, because he just sits it out there beautifully for nice flight in front. And Colby Heine Hennessy did not break stride there, and it was great ball movement and great work ethic from Colby Heine Hennessy.
As we've said, number one for marks in the comp alongside Charlie Morrison. He's kicked the 19 goals in season 2023 after playing in a flag for Holbrook. Kick hits the top of the post. Literally the top of the post, and it's through from Minor. 57 plays, 41 on the Inspirations Paint scoreboard. Still early stages, third term. Brad Freak, 40 winks.
Yeah, a couple of early inside 50s for each team, and Anthony Miles and Dan Shack early touch each for their respective sides.
So ball's in the back pocket now with Fraser Ellis. Little chip kick, dangerous. Batten marks out in front on the lead. Braden O'Hara was hot on his heels. So Batten, the Murray Bush Ranger, late inclusion for today. He's been pretty serviceable. He kicks long, high down the line. The Tigers have numbers everywhere, one of whom is Bryden Hodgson, who's going to slingshot the Tigers into attack. Kicks to the hot spot. Van Berlo flew, but Bryce crumbed it and kicked the Sunjan goal today. Riley Bice has kicked 3. And I tell you what, Monty, he is rising to a whole new level in September.
Isn't he? What a great crumb there. It was down low, it was so clean, and got it on that opposite foot there on the left, and great finish. And that just shows they're dangerous in the air and also at ground level, the Albury forward line.
He's up to the 9 disposals now as well on the 40-wing stat sheet. Riley Bice, along with his 3 goals. He's been outstanding in that forward half, and I really like when he does that. He gets his link play and uses his leg speed up the ground and running backwards towards goal as well.
A wonderful finish there from Riley Bice. Just the start the Tigers would have wanted here in this third quarter for Indigo Power here on O&M Live. We've played 3 minutes in the A.T. Jones time clock. Anthony Miles once again winning it out of the middle. Kicks to half forward. Falls in the lap of Reece King. He plays on straight away. Kick had too much on it for Jeffy Garland. Here's Riley Bice again. Wants his left foot. Gets a little banana into the pocket. And taking a nice mark here for the Wangaratta Magpies is Ryan Batten. Got the big job on Jacob Conlon today. Batten likes something broadcast side. It's Fraser Ellis for the Wangaratta Magpies. Plays on, kicks down the wing. Elliot Powell leads the race for the Tigers. Spills out the back here to Hodgson. Comes inboard with an aggressive kick. Anthony Miles takes a wonderful mark here for the Tigers. He's got Gaynor at half forward. It just gets there to him. Oh, that's through the mark
50,
from Newton.
50.
Yep, and that is 50, Scott Montgomery.
Yeah, absolutely. Fraser Hollandine was on the mark, and Juice Newton thought he hadn't called to stand, but it doesn't matter if you haven't called stand. If you run through the mark, it's 50-metre penalty. So just take Jake Gaynor to nearly an unmissable range, boys.
And this would be 7 goals in a row for the Albury Tigers after trailing by 16. He already kicked 1 goal, Jakey Gaynor. He's got the bright blue boots. Make it 2. A wonderful start for the Albury Tigers. They lead by 28 points. 69 plays 41 on the Inspirations Paint scoreboard. Freaky, the Tigers got 11.
Yeah, they certainly have, and it's their midfield that's really starting to get on top in this game now. Jake Gaynor's had the 15 disposals, 2 goals. Elliot Powell's had the 14 disposals and kicked a goal. Anthony Miles is now up to 19 disposals and kicked a goal as well. And as we touched on, Riley Bice, he's had the 10 disposals and kicked 3 goals as well. It's that midfield group that's really starting to grow legs and get on top of the Wangaratta midfield. And as we touched on in pre-game, just that depth that they've got looks like it's just starting to get a little bit too much for the Magpies.
Game high lead, gentlemen, here for the Albury Tigers. Panda, your math's a lot better than mine, but I've got 28 points.
28, 69, 41.
Tell you what, my maths teacher will be proud of me.
She here?
No, she's not. I don't think she's tuning in either. Almost 6 minutes gone in the third term, thanks to Indigo Power. The Magpies need to respond, and they kick the ball up to half forward. Hodgson flew, unrealistically free kick to the Magpies. It's with McVeigh. Needs the kick to a one-on-one with Moore. They need Moore to stand up. Brought it to ground level. Handballs over the back, looking for Hollandine. Berry's on hands and knees. Whiteside Tour. Kicks on his left. It was smothered. Hollandine to the goal square. Conlon's on the last line of defence and just goes bang with a high up and under up towards the defensive 50. Falls the way of the Magpies. They've got numbers. Now it's with Sharrock. Uses his time and vision. Tries to find McVeigh. Murray Wade evades one. Handballs out wide. He's got Ellis. Paddles it to himself. Needs to steady. Kicks on goal. And he can't quite find the big sticks. It's narrow to the near side and for a minor score. The Wangaratta Magpies 6-6-42. The Albury Tigers 11-3-69 for Inspirations Paint.
Would have loved that one. Brad Sprinkles freak for 40 winks.
Yeah, they certainly would have there. And Anthony Miles just coming up for his 20th disposal of the game as well.
Brad Nahara coming off for a rest, Mont.
Yeah, just a quick one. He's been on the wing most of the day today, boys, so the old legs will need a bit of a rest tomorrow, I reckon.
Isaac Muller, been outstanding in the ruck all day. Kicks very, very wide. Did Jeffy Garlett keep that in? He did not. Well, the umpires at
conference.
No, he did. He did mark it. And it's still in play for the Tigers. Jeff Garlett comes in board. Elliot Powell. This is showground side of the WJ Finlay Oval. Powell likes something into the pocket. Well done there, Dylan Van Burlo taking an intercept mark here for the Wang Magpies, who need to take some risk, Gus McLeod for Macrae Motors.
And they can certainly take one here, Panda, by opening up the corridor. They do so with McVeigh. Handballs inboard. Here's a go for Marjanovic. Inside 50 go the Magpies. Moore's at the back. Moore to ground level. There's no crummers there. The Tigers have numbers everywhere. O'Brien's been run down by Moore. Tommy O'Brien's been chased down by Callum Moore. And the Doug Strang medalist will have his first set shot on goal all day at the 8th minute mark of the third term.
Just shows, doesn't matter what your day's been like, as long as you're doing the little things, things will start to turn for you. He did not give up on that footy at all. Got beaten in the air, Cal Moore, come to ground, and then just did not let him get out, the Albury Tigers, and a great little chase and run down tackle from behind. He needs to go back and make sure he puts this one through and get a bit of momentum going Wangaratta's way.
It's only going to be his 4th touch of the day for the most valuable player in the competition. To bring the margin back to 21 points. Moore's got it. Not much of a celebration. They've still got a bit of work to do. But that'll certainly give the confidence of Callum Moore a big boost. The Albury Tigers 11-3-69. The Wangaratta Magpies 8-6-42.
They've had the 4 inside 50s in this third quarter on the 40-wing stat sheet, the Wangaratta Magpies, and finally been able to put that goal on the board, which cuts the run of goals that Albury had kicked in this game. Albury had 6 inside 50s in this third quarter, been able to put a few goals on the board. Anthony Miles, as we keep touching on, boys, up to 4 disposals in this third quarter. Gives him 20 for the game. He's been outstanding. And 16 disposals now for this game for Dan Sharrock for the Wangaratta Magpies.
Margin sits at 21 points. Cal Moore's goal breaks a run of 7 in a row for the Albury Tigers. He's won a Morris medal, a Doug Strang medal, and he needs to give his Wang Magpies a bit of a lift here. They go back inside 50. More! Oh, did he take it? He did. An elite body and paint mark of the day from Cal Moore. Talk about a lift, Scott Montgomery. Boundary side for the Newey.
Hamish Gilmore can't believe he got up really high too, but it wasn't high enough because he was right with him. But Cal Moore, I tell you what, standing on someone's shoulders like that in a final, if you don't mind. But Braden Marjanovic, his last 3 or 4 minutes, boys, he's really got going, and he was the one that drove that footy nice and deep there, sat it up there, and he had 2 possessions in the lead up to the last goal as well.
He loves taking hangers at the WJ Finlay Oval, does Cal Moore. This for 2 in a minute. And to bring the margin back to 15, Cal Moore comes in and he's up and about. The Wangaratta Magpies through Cal Moore bring the margin back to 15. He's got 2, both inside the last 30 seconds. Brad Sprinkles freak.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful work there from Marjanovic, as Monty pointed out. But I'm really liking the work of Chris Knowles in the ruck today. I think he's been probably one of Wangaratta's better players today, giving them first use. They've had the 3 centre clearances in this third quarter already. He's been really influential in all that area of the game in this third quarter. With the 5 inside 50s in this third quarter as well for the Wangaratta Magpies.
He loves taking marks at this venue, as Blake Panda Escott called beautifully for Macrae Motors. He did so here in the Derby in one of his first games for the Magpies, and that one might be just as important. 15-point ball game thanks to Inspirations Paint. Sharrock kicks the Magpies into attack. Burns got some work to do. Now it's Hollandine for the Magpies, tracking it to the boundary. And it spills out of bounds for a restart for the Newmarket Hotel with Scott Montgomery boundary side.
He's got a bin chicken running around on the ground too, boys. So
What?
just keep an eye for that one.
A bin chicken?
It's not Toby Murray, the Ibis.
It could be. It really could be.
Riley Bias emerges from the contest for the Tigers. He takes his 3rd bounce, 4th bounce at true centre wing. Now he's taken 5. Kicks inside 50 to Conlon. Sensational run and carry from Riley Bias. Something from nothing, and Jacob Conlon will have a set shot 35 metres out on a 45-degree angle.
How good was that kicker? It looked like a bit of a mongrel off the boot, but it was out in the space and good enough for Jacob Conlon. And again, didn't have to break stride out there, and that's what you love as a key forward. And go back here and try and kick his 4th.
Be a real momentum killer here for the Pies. Jacob Conlon to the bar reserve end, strikes it on the right boot, and he's hit the upright. A minor score from Jacob Conlon means it's a 16-point ball game favouring the Albury Tigers on the Inspirations Paint scoreboard. We've played 12 minutes in the third term, Panda, thanks to Indigo Power, and this game's still got a lot left to give.
It certainly is. Brad Freak, Scott Montgomery, Gus McLeod and Blake Penderecott with you for McRae Motors. Game in the balance here. Premiership third quarter. Big qualifying final and Chris Knowles taking a wonderful elite body and paint mark of the day. Centre wing like something inboard. Wants to go across half back. Here's Waitai Tua. Loves getting on that beautiful left foot of his. Goes out wide. Showground side. Another left footer. Luke Saunders comes inboard to Cam Barrett. His numbers, Brad Sprinkles.
14 now for Cam once he kicks the ball here.
Still at half back, so the Tigers have done pretty well here with their zone. On to Saunders. Kicks out in front of the famous old scoreboard here at the WJ Finlay. O'Hara does well for the Tigers. Hodgson comes inboard to the coach, Anthony Miles, and he plays on for the Tigers.
It's certainly old, Panda, but I don't know if the scoreboard's famous. O'Brien kicks into attack, trying to find Gaynor. Sits nicely for him. And I reckon this will test Jake for range, Monty.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. He's pointed back to the goals. He's looking pretty confident that this could be one of those ones. Just try and take the momentum out of the game, and then he might try and just find a short target inside 50.
This will be a Luke Daly special here, Panda. Luke Daly is the master of these. He goes back from about 55 metres and just chisels one into the pocket.
I like it.
There's the lead from Heiner Hennessy. It was ignored.
One on it either.
So little Jakey's pretty confident. He arcs around, sells a bit of candy, gets to 35. It looks like Hutchie in the All-Stars game.
It was.
But the finish wasn't as good as Hutchie.
If you're going to do that in a final, boys, go back and point that you're going to kick the goal. You'd want to do a bit better than that, I reckon.
Absolutely. He
That was a
played on.
shocker.
Good confidence.
Shocker.
If Hutchie can do it, I'd expect Jakey Gaynor to do it. No score, 71 plays 54 for Inspirations Paint.
Hutchie's got about 120 kilos as well on Jake Gaynor.
Bit harsh on
Sorry, Hutch. It's probably a fact. Here's Dane Porter in the defensive pocket for the Wang Magpies.
You did say fact.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Rising high again and taking a great mark here for the... Well, play on. That was a bit strange for the Tigers. Here's Hodgson. Beautiful torpedo punt inside 50. Kelly got pushed out, wanted a free kick. Ball hits the deck. King's in the area. He's always dangerous. Comes back out here to half forward. Powell just overran the football and then dived on it. Bordenon has him. Spills out here to O'Hara. Dinky, smart left foot kick. Finds Jakey Gaynor. And I don't reckon he'll be playing on and kicking any bananas from here, Scott Montgomery.
I'd like to think he doesn't, but how smart was that? Elliot Powell actually dove on the footy, and no one really tackled him. He was able to get up with it, and away he went. And Braden O'Hara, just great use going inside 50 again. Just too smart. Nice little dinky kick, as you called it, Panda. And Jakey Gaynor go back for his second shot on goal in about a minute.
Official attendance coming through from Kane Arandartigus, the GM, 22-63. A pretty big crowd here at the WJ Finlay Oval. Jake Gaynor has now kicked his third goal for the Albury Tigers. Extends the margin to 23 points. A wonderful Sunjan goal today, contender. And Freaky, just what the doctor ordered for the Tigers.
Yeah, it certainly was, with the Magpies just getting a little bit of momentum back in this game. Jake Gaynor has been absolutely everywhere for the Tigers today. Him and Anthony Miles are the two that are getting it done. Jake Gaynor's now up to the 17 disposals and kicked 3 goals halfway through this third quarter. Anthony Miles is up to the 21 disposals and kicking the 1 goal as well. They're getting a lot of goals out of the midfield today, the Tigers, and it's really holding them in good stead.
A cracking qualifying final for Inspirations Paint. 77 plays 54, favouring the Albury Tigers. In the centre, handball over the top from Marjanovic, was trying to find Tua, and Tua's going to get a free kick here.
Yeah, just a little hold on the jumper from Jimmy Grills there, just as he was trying to get away. So probably a smart play, stop the momentum.
Is that you also calling him Tua, not Waitai Tua?
Yes, well, I just thought I'd be a little bit more punctual. Waitai Tua, inside forward 50. More on the second bite of the cherry. Couldn't quite bring it down. That was Newton. Clearing defensive lines, or trying to, was Conlon. Dangerous ball in the back pocket. Whistle,
Silly.
free kick. It's against Moore. It's going to go the way of Page for Albury.
Yeah, just got in his back a little bit there, Gus McLeod. Didn't really need to do that, Cal Moore. In the back or high, take your pick. Oh, dangerous kick across defence there from Page.
Yeah, you hurt Monty really just tighten up a bit there.
That one, wasn't he? It found Conlon in the end, and all is good. Scott Montgomery. Miles has it. Beautiful transition football from the Tigers, who switch it. And now in the arms of Jimmy Grills. He's been called to play on centre wing right in front of our broadcast position. He goes down the line to Luke Daly. 77 plays 54. A 23-point lead here to the Tigers. Great defensive behind a Hennessy, and it's going to be tossed back in, boundary throw in, just 4 to centre for the Albury Tigers, Brad Freak.
9 inside 50s to 6 in favour of the Albury Tigers in this third term, and they've been able to take full advantage of it, kicking a few goals in this third quarter.
So on the 40-wing stat sheet, this man's lining it up as well. Barrett kicks to Callum Moore inside 50. A little bit shallow for him. Gilmore got a good fist. The Tigers have numbers now. Gilmore's on the rebound. Over the top as Max Byrne gets a nice bounce. Chisels it to centre half forward. O'Hara takes a mark. He's got the overlap run of Grills, which he just missed, but he can get up and chip it to him nonetheless. A little pitching wedge finds Jimmy Grills 45 metres out in a 45-degree angle. The Tigers just slicing up that corridor, Monty.
Hamish Gilmore is playing one of his best games. I reckon he's played in Albury colours. He's obviously, Calmore's kicked those 2 goals, but one was an absolutely outstanding mark, and the other one was a free kick. So not much could have done about that, but won that 50-50 ball there and then took off 100 miles an hour and found O'Hara through the middle, and just a little bit smart kick again from O'Hara going inside 50.
So Jim Grills to the bar reserve end. He'll kick on a 45-degree angle, and he starts it to the left, and that's where it continues. Across the face for a minor score. Albury, 12-6-78. The Magpies, 8-6-54 for Inspirations Paint.
A quick kick in from Van Berlo, looking for Smith, a true centre half back. He broke through the O'Brien tackle, spills out here to Norton, who breaks through 2 Tigers tackle. His hand pass with a bit of a loopy one to O'Hara. Hollandine applies pressure on Daly, brings him down in the centre circle of the WJ Finlay Oval. Isn't Hamish Gilmore playing a wonderful game as Elliot Powell limps to the bench, Scott Montgomery?
Yeah, keep an eye on that. Not sure what he's favouring. It's something in the leg, I reckon, but we'll have a look at that.
Looks like a right leg of some sort. It's a great tackle out there from Gaynor on his opposite number in Porter. Murray Waite goes and wins it. Careful not to give away an in-the-back free kick there was Marjanovic. Porter found a hand pass to Sharrock. Off a step and the Pies go inside 50. Out the back, Calmore dropped the chest mark. I didn't think he was going to take that. Trying to get his left foot was McVeigh. Went straight up in the air. Moore still in the area. McVeigh snaps at goalwards, but it's all Tigers. Luke Daly clears lines and he finds Jake Page at halfback.
He just looks right off his colours today, does Callum Moore. He'd normally make those. He's absolute clinical in those sort of positions. Balls with Gaynor now for the Tigers. Shimmies and shakes, gets around one. There's a bit of a dust-up off the footy here. He kicks long down the showground side wing. Well done, Michael Boardington. Bit of a 1-2 there. And I'll tell you what, I'm watching the footy, but I want to watch the dust-up.
I'm watching the dust-up. Reece King's in it again, guys. Yeah. I'm not sure who he's up against this time. Is it Michael Boardington?
I think it's Van Berlo, boys.
Oh, he's got no shirt on.
It's Van Berlo, had his shirt over his head.
They've been at it all day, those two, but Reece King actually had his legs up and around his neck nearly like a wrestling move.
He's a pest, isn't he?
Trying to get him off.
On the outer side, showground side, true centre wing. Ball just pinballs around as Miles goes back to O'Hara. He's going to want to find his left. He does so now. High, penetrating kick in towards forward 50. Kelly left it for Garlett. Garlett wants to find his right. Swivels across his body to the top of the goal square. Saunders, an elite body and paint player today. He flew across the pack and got a crucial fingertip to see it across the behinds for a minor score. 79 plays 54 for Inspirations Paint. The Tigers lead the Magpies in the qualifying final.
Brad Freak for 40 winks.
Yeah, Anthony Miles up to 7 disposals in this third quarter. Takes him up to 23 for the game. He's been outstanding for the Albury Tigers.
Luke Saunders, his kick was smothered and he got it back, but it's been turned over here by Lucas Conlon. Like something in the middle of the ground, it's a big Ben Kelly. He marks, too far out to score. Kicks into the pocket. Out the back here, Conlon. Couldn't mark. Ball at ground level. Lots of Tigers around this, and we're going to have a stoppage inside 50 for the Albury Tigers. 79 plays, 54, third term for Indigo Power. We paid 20 minutes on the A.T. Jones time clock, and it is a 25-point margin here in the qualifying final. Toss back up. Muller tries to tap it out the back of the contest. Here's a chance for Sharrock, working really hard. Goes short, well done by O'Brien, but he's given away a free kick, a push. And it's a free kick here to the Magpies and Jesse Smith at half-back broadcast side.
Little chiseler over the top. It's nice to Paddy Warner. Paddy Warner's right in front of our broadcast position here at the WJ Finlay Oval. The Magpies need the next one. It's as simple as that. Long down the broadcast side wing, McVeigh.
Well read.
Good use of the body. Got a bit too much strength for Hodgson. Liam McVeigh goes with a torpedo punt inside 50. Newton did well from the rear position. Coming through now, the Albury Tigers have numbers. Hollandine applied a big tackle. And he's going to win a free kick for holding the ball. It looks like it's Page who was at the bottom of that contest. It was, and that's very clever from Fraser Hollandine. Juice was involved in the tackle. It probably wasn't his free kick, but Fraser, he just ran away and let Juice have the set shot.
Yeah, that's what smart players do, isn't it? Get your big kickers, the ones with the footy in their hands, because I don't think Michael Newton actually laid a finger on him, did he, until the very end, until the whistle had gone. But Jake Page just tried to take on the tacklers there, and it was a great call by Ash Broughton. And Juice Newton really needs to put this one through to get the momentum back. 45-degree angle, kicking from 47 metres. Looks beautiful off the boot. Juice Newton just carries too much to the right-hand side for a minor score. The Magpies move to 55, the Tigers 79. They need a goal, Panda, on the Inspirations Paint scoreboard. 22 gone for A.T. Jones.
Yeah, he started it out left, but not left enough. Gets that beautiful curve back and through for a minor score.
Just a quick one, boys. I think Elliot Power might have been with an ankle, which he has had a bit of an ankle issue, and just getting it restrapped and should be right to go again, I think.
Monty, he's been carrying that for the last couple of weeks, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. He missed last week, got rested last week with that, I think. So, yeah.
Free kick out in the fall, and the Magpies go back inside forward 50 here. And a good defensive fist from Lucas Conlon. Brad Freak, 40 winks.
Yeah, if we go around the grounds in the TDFL, Key were well in control in that game. 52-16, 10 minutes gone in the third quarter.
O&M live action on 2AY and 3&E. And we'll bring you the elimination final across the road from the Norm Inns Oval tomorrow as well. 24-point, even 4-goal margin to the way of the Albury Tigers here in the qualifying final. A date with Yarrawonga waits the winner. Fraser Hollandine trying to hand pass to Warner. It was intercepted by Joe Berry. A high up and undering kick to the top of the goal square. Juice Newton wanted his left foot. It was smothered. Great play there by the Aubrey Tigers.
Too high.
Oh, Monty, boundary side for the Newie.
Yeah, Tommy O'Brien just a little bit high there on the tackle on Juice on the second crack. He was having a goal, but the umpire did not miss that one, and he'll go back from the pocket here, which is not a bad spot for him. He doesn't mind kicking from here.
Umpires have been good today.
Excellent.
Jace Rain, Ash Broughton and Cal Logan doing a wonderful job.
That's what happens when you put the best together, I reckon.
Exactly right. So Juice Newton's kicked 4 goals, 3. He's been in everything today, has Juice. He's tied up against the pocket, right up against the paint. This to bring it back to an even 3-goal margin. Looks like he's going to go the right foot banana, and he's kicked it, I think, out on the full. Doesn't register a score. A couple of chances being wasted here by the Wang Magpies, Brad Freak, as they own inside 50 territory.
Yeah, they certainly have in this third quarter. They've had the 10 inside 50s now and just haven't been able to capitalise their last few ones. A couple of nearly moments as well going forward in this term. Calmore dropping a couple of marks you think he normally would take. So had their opportunities in this third quarter. The Magpies just haven't taken full toll of them.
A few whispers apparently in the rooms out the back here that Calmore had the flu all week.
Well, he's certainly not playing it what we're used to expecting from Cal, but I would take Cal at about 25% over most players in the comp. He's an absolute star. The Tigers have possession. They're tied up in the back pocket. They kick long down the showground side wing. Big contest forms. Van Berlo was the last man standing. There's about 10 blokes on the ground following that contest. Umpire blows the whistle. Have a ball up. In between half forward and centre wing here for the Wangaratta Magpies. 25 minutes gone on the A.T. Jones time clock. The Tigers lead 79-55 for Inspirations Paint.
The umpire just asking one of the players out there, they had a blood rule, I think, so that was a little hold up. Late stages, third term. 4-goal margin on the Inspirations Paint scoreboard. The Maggies need the next, and Reece King, he's been in everything. Takes it on his chest, showground side. Still bathed in sunshine, this wonderful WJ Finlay Oval. A perfect spring day. King hugs the boundary. Muller takes a nice mark here for the Tigers. Waits for his charges to run forward. Kicks it to half forward. George Hall and Smith and Tyler Norton. And Norton, his fist, finds the boundary line. 50 around from the Tigers' goal. They lead by 4 goals. Brad Freak for 40 winks.
Yeah, Anthony Miles up to 7 disposals in this third quarter. Dan Sharrock, he's had the 6 for Wangaratta, and Dane Porter's had the 5 for the Wangaratta Magpies also.
Boundary throw-in into attack for the Tigers. Muller fisted it forward from the boundary throw-in. Gains about 20 metres. This one actually stays alive. Well done, Cole behind Hennessy. Now the whistle's blown. And it's going to be a boundary throw-in or a ball up. We're going to ball the footy up deep in the pocket here.
Nah, throw in.
We're going to throw it in. Well spotted, Monty.
Of course, we're repeating the A-grade Ray White rule netball score as well. Gus McLeod, Lavington through to play Yarrawonga next week after defeating the Pies.
Of course, the Pies will take on the winner of the Raiders and the Saints tomorrow. Back in towards the centre of the ground. Sharrock Just gains about 15, 20 metres here for the Pies. They've got numbers. Porter, clever work inside the telephone booth onto Warner.
Oh, well done.
Warner takes a bounce. They're trying to spark some life here, the Pies. Smith, this is clever. Inside 50, beautiful looking kick.
Beautiful.
Joe Berry marks for the Wangaratta Magpies, and that all started from the veteran Dane Porter working his way around a telephone booth, Monty.
How good was that? Just shows class comes to the top in finals footy, boys, and Dane Porter's been here plenty of times before, and Joe Berry went out in the 50. I don't mind that. Let's see that a bit more often, I reckon, with Cal Moore being a little bit off today. Let's just have a look at this young fellow one out in the goal square.
Jesse Smith, all the good ball users combining then. That was just quick movement straight down the guts.
Joe Berry, the Magpies desperately need this one to bring it back to an 18-point margin. He's kicked three. As the three-quarter time siren sounds, the Wangaratta Magpies 9-7-61. They trail the Albury Tigers 12-7-79. Don't you go anywhere. This one has got plenty left in the tank, Panda.
It certainly does. Do not go anywhere, as Gus McLeod just said on O&M Live. 2AY and 3 on Optus TV. The winner to play Yarrawonga on O&M Live. You won't miss a thing.
Looking for somewhere great to eat? Check out Social Dining and Bar. And right now, you can get a crumbed barramundi fillet served with chips and dill hollandaise from just $22. Come and be part of it all at Social Dining and Bar at the SS&A.
Pain or injury can stop you from living life to the fullest. Albury Wodonga Private Hospital specialises in advanced orthopaedic services and offers a full range of care from diagnosis to surgery and rehabilitation. Get back to the life you love with our support.
Go where you can live and learn locally. Go where students come first. Go for the choice of 120 courses across 11 campuses. Go for it with GoTAFE.
0.0% alcohol. This changes everything.
Rewrite the rules. Carlton Zero.
Adroit Insurance and Risk, your local insurance advisor, able to tailor insurance programs to support your business.
And we're proud to support our local community.
How many subscriptions do you have? One for entertainment? And one for news? And meditation? One for sport? And one for music? Whatever you're into, you can now manage select paid subscriptions in one place and save up to 10% with Optus SubHub. Discover what's trending and save by bundling them all together. Streamline your subscriptions with Optus SubHub. It starts with yes.
GoTAFE is hiring, and we want you on our team. Flexibility, professional development, generous remuneration, and a staff wellbeing program are just a few of the great benefits we offer. If you have a passion for your skill or qualification and you're looking for real work-life balance, then GoTAFE is the place for you.
GoTAFE is leading,
Inspiring.
hands-on,
Flexible. Fabulous.
We have dozens of trainer positions and corporate roles open right now. Get in touch today.
At 2AY, we're your home of live sport. Every weekend, we bring you the best live broadcasts of the Ovens and Murray football and netball. Listen this weekend on your radio or the 2AY app.
Owned and operated.
OMFNL on 2AY.
Must be 100 kids out on the ground. Why wouldn't you? The sun's out, guns out at springtime. Qualifying final day in the Ovens and Murray. And a 17-point lead to the Albury Tigers over the Wangaratta Magpies. Brad, Sprinkles Freak, who were some of our quarters best in that third term?
Yeah, for the Albury Tigers, Jake Gaynor, and he kicked a couple of goals and he was really influential across the ground for the Tigers to get a lot of momentum earlier in that quarter. And I thought Braden Marjanovic, when he went into the middle of the ground for the Wangaratta Magpies, gave him a bit of a spark. He set up a few goals as well. I thought he was really good for the Maggies. If we have a look at the 40-wink stat sheet, again, as it has been all day, fairly even in a lot of the categories. 13 inside 50s for Albury, 11 for the Wangaratta Magpies, 4 clearances, centre clearances for Wang Maggies, 1 to Albury. So that's one part of the ground, part of the game that the Maggies were able to get on top of in that third quarter. If we have a look at the possession getters, Anthony Miles leads our stat sheet. He's up to 23 disposals and kicking the goal. Jake Gaines had the 18 and kicked 3 goals as well. Elliot Powell, who picked up that knock in that third quarter, he's had 16 and kicked a goal as well, and 11 each for Riley Bice and George Holland-Smith, whereas the Magpies side of things, Dan Sharrock's had the 20 disposals, Dane Porter's had the 17 and 16 for Cam Barrett.
Scott Montgomery is boundary side for the Newmarket Hotel. What were the messages from the coaches at three-quarter time?
Yeah, Reedy just said we need to get it in a bit deeper and a bit quicker. We're sort of going a little bit too shallow and turning the footy over, which is allowing Albury's rebound, which is hurting us on the turnover. Well, Miles, he was really, really happy with what's going on so far. Obviously thought they just gave away a couple of easy ones late with some poor decision-making coming out of the back half, but they just need to make sure they're switched on and run this game out really hard because it's important to get into that second semi next week.
Of course, the date with the Yarrawonga Pigeons. Stevie J here earlier today awaits for the winner. And the loser will play the winner of tomorrow's elimination final. And that, of course, between the Wangaratta Rovers and the Wodonga Bulldogs across the road at the Normins Oval. And we'll have all the coverage for you on 1494 2AY and 1566 3&E. Here's Gus McLeod for Mac Jack Sheds.
Big final term on O&M Live. And it starts the way of the Albury Tigers. Powell via Gaynor inboard. And Gaynor's on the receiving end once again. Kicks to centre half forward. Garlett couldn't bring it from the second bite of the cherry. Now he has another crack and he shovels it out wide. Barrett intercepts for the Magpies. Throws it on the left boot. And now it's a genuine foot race. Grills comes from the front. McVeigh from the rear. Give it to Grills. He got a bit of assistance on the way through from McVeigh. Now it's on to Grills. Bryden Hodgson. Kick was smothered by Ellis and spills out of bounds for a boundary throw in right in front of Monty for the Newmarket Hotel. Hot start.
Another near touch too, boys. I was very close there, but McVeigh, I think, might have got Grills on the way through. Yeah,
he
so certainly wasn't happy with it.
He certainly did throw a little one there. I saw that one as well.
A bit of a rib tickler indeed. Boundary throw has missed all the ruckman. Chris Knowles got his arms out. A bear hug there by Holby Hennessy.
Backpack
on Barrett. A genuine backpack, if you don't mind. A strange one there. And it's going to get balled up on the point of the square. Muller taps it to Barrett. Defensive side here for the Magpies. Sharrock tries to get around the Gaynor tackle. He got him a little bit high. Dan Sharrock always wants to come inboard. It's a great kick as well. He finds Cam Barrett, who plays on straight away. Short one to Michael Newton at half forward. He wheels, called to play on, kicks into the pocket. Cal Moore camped out the back. Well done there by the Tigers. That was Burns. Spills the way. Here are the Magpies. Kick to high half forward here, and it's been marked by Jesse Wilson. A beautiful intercept mark for the Tigers, and they're away through Miles.
The two boys have wear jumper changes today. Miles and Wilson. Kicks to half forward. Muller's got some work to do. That's kicking in danger.
Yep.
Umpire spotted that one, Mont.
Yeah, absolutely. You called it, didn't you? He just threw the boot out of Big Isaac. Didn't realise that Michael Boardingong's arm was right there. So great decision there.
Big long way to bend down for Big Isaac.
It's a lot easier to get the boot there than the mitt. High up and under, not the best kick. Contest forms. Bryden Hodgson doesn't quite get the second bite of the cherry. Now Marjanovic, clever look away, handball to McVeigh. Downfield free kick.
No, it's going to come back.
Get brought back. Yep.
It should be an advantage, but I would have thought the ball was continuous, wasn't it?
I think so too, and it looks like the umpires are going to bring the ball back here, or they're going to call play on inside 50 to Moore. Monty, I have no idea what happened, but Cal Moore's got the ball in the pocket for the Pies.
Yeah, I think, anyway, we'll see that. But Cal Moore took a really good mark there on the lead and a bit of push and shove again off the ball, boys. And Reece King involved again.
Yep.
Well, he's pretty good on the lip, Reece King.
He's an antagonist, I would have called it.
A pest, I like it.
Well, I was going to try and say something a bit nicer. Callum Moore, the Magpies desperately need this. This is his bread and butter. Callum Moore starts it for a dream start. Wangaratta Magpies kick the first goal of the final term. Callum Moore's got his third. It's back to a 12-point ball game.
They've had the only 2 inside 50s in this last term, the Wangaratta Magpies on the 40-wing stats sheet. And early touches as well to Cam Barrett and Dan Sharrock, some of the more important ball winners who are going straight back into the middle of the ground as well. If those boys really lift in this last quarter, the Maggies might be able to make a really good charge here.
So just the start that the Wangaratta Magpies would have wanted. They've kicked 4 of the last 5 goals, Scotty Montgomery, and they're up and about boundary side for the new ink.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? Their ball movements have been really good. It's been a game where it's just been in chunks, the goals at times. So if Wayne can string a few more together here, Albury get a bit worried, I would have thought.
Cal Moore with his third goal as well. Can he lift his side to a semi-final next week? Out of the middle, Knowles. It was a bit of a forward hand pass. Here's Elliot Powell for the Tigers, though. Kicks it to half forward. Well done. Great mark there by Riley Bice. He plays on straight away. Takes a bounce. Steadies from 45. Left foot kick from Riley Bice. What a finish by the superstar from the Tigers. He's kicked 4. And just when the Pies bring a bit of momentum back, the Tigers answer. Margin back out to 17.
What can't this bloke do? He plays everywhere on the ground and then he has nice finishing skills like that inside 50. You'd love to have that sort of ability, I reckon, boys.
I think Monty's going to have a hard job doing the Anytime Fitness Player of the Day at the end of the day as well. Jakey Gaynor had the 20 disposals, kicked 3 goals. Riley Bice has had 12 and kicked 4 goals. Jacob Conlon as well is up the forward half and kicked 3 goals and may still kick another couple if the ball does come in that way. So really good work here by the Albury players.
Back live in the centre. The Magpies need to respond. Marjanovic is there. He evades some pressure and breaks away from the contest. The left footer kicks in towards centre half forward for the Pies. Well done, Bryden Hodgson brought it to ground level. Dane Porter's there, wrapped up by Wilson. Umpire calls and will ball the footy up 45 metres out from Wangaratta's goal. Almost 5 minutes gone in the final term for Mac Jack Sheds. Murray Waite was held. Umpire ignored it. Coming through was Porter out wide trying to find Juice Newton. Taps it towards the boundary line. Happy to get a restart. And that is what we'll have. 65 metres out from Wangaratta goal. The Magpies trail 67-84 thanks to Border Carpets on O&M Live.
Blake Panderescott and Gus McLeod with you for McRae Motors. Brad Freak on our 40-wing stat sheet and Scotty Montgomery rounding out a great call team here on O&M Live. Muller dropped the ball. The Wang Magpies wanted a free kick. Wilson picked it up and heaved it forward for the Tigers. 1-on-1 here between Anderson and Reece King. Reece King wins out. Steadies from 50, goes short to Conlon. Slipping over, unfortunately, there, Anderson. King the beneficiary, and Conlon to line up 35 outslide angle.
Yeah, really smart Reece King there. Had a bit of a look which made Batten just drop back towards the goal square thinking he was going to bomb long, and as soon as he saw Batten take that backward step, he just went short to Conlon, who just kept coming up at him, and yeah, we'll go back and try and kick another one.
He could have blazed away there, Reece King, but Conlon had a couple of metres on his opponent. This for 2 in a couple of minutes for the Albury Tigers. And to take the margin back out to 23, Conlon's got the double fister. The Tigers answer again. 2 in the last couple of minutes. And that puts a dagger in the Wangaratta Magpies' efforts, Brad Freak.
Yeah, it certainly does. Only 2 inside 50s in this last quarter for the Albury Tigers for 2 goals there. 100% efficiency, moving the ball forward. And again, it's the same guys doing it all day from started well in this last term. Jakey Gaynor's up to the 2 disposals. Elliot Powers had 2 and singles to Riley Bice and Anthony Miles as well.
23-point lead to the Albury Tigers as they edge closer to breaking a 1,175-day finals drought in the SS&A. Ovens and Murray. Umpire says, we'll bring the football to me. Gentlemen, we'll ball it up between the edge of the centre square and the centre circle. 7 minutes gone for A.T. Jones. Muller palms it out the back in the bias direction for the Tigers. He swings onto the left and gains 65 metres. Van Berlo had the front sit. Reece King joins in the action and kicks inside 50 for the Tigers. Conlon's the lead. Not a great bounce. Van Berlo's got to get down low. Wrapped up in a tackle.
Doesn't have it.
And the umpire said, Dylan didn't have the ball, gentlemen. It's a free kick to Van Berlo. Kicks dangerously to Marjanovic. Reece King was hot on his heels. O'Hara wrapped up in a big tackle. Spills out to Ellis. Anderson's got to be clever, trying to get the ball out towards the broadcast side wing, and the Magpies are under the pump with Bourdignon.
Bourdignon just able to get his kick away. Gaynor sits under a high one. He wins the free kick. Hodgson just takes the advantage. He was caught, but Ash says no.
The umpire hadn't called it, boys. That's why it's coming back.
Boundary side, Scott Montgomery for the Newmarket Hotel, and Jake Gaynor is going to be the recipient of this free kick. The Tigers 14-6 lead the Pies 10-7. Margin 23 on the Border Carpet scoreboard. Now, fourth term brought to you by Phil and the crew from Mac Jack Sheds on 2A Wine, 3&E's O&M Live. Jake Gaynor, his numbers, Brad Freak?
21 now for Jake in this game, and 3 goals as well.
It's been outstanding. Contender for our Anytime Fitness Player of the Day. Good luck picking that, Scott Montgomery. High one from Grills inside 50. It was allowed to bounce by the pack. Garlett cleverly tapped it forward. Waiting for it was O'Hara. Saunders, dinky little kick finds Sharrock. Still inside his own D50. Comes aboard though and finds Dane Porter.
Handball's over the top. Marjanovic has to be decisive. He is now. On to Norton, now Barrett. They're playing a clever handball game, but it breaks down in the centre. The Tigers respond. Gaynor on Tobias, 75 from home. Into the pocket of Garlett. Garlett's marked on a 45-degree angle, right on his range. He'll have to kick this one. Well, I'm going to say 45 metres, Monty.
Yeah, and just again, that ball movement through the middle. They're trying to take it on, Wang, trying to open the game up, but Albury just hot on their heels the whole time. We're able to turn it over in a dangerous position, and again, a nice kick inside 50 to Jeffy Garlett.
Jeff Garlett to the Evans Street end. I reckon this one's just going to fall across the face for a minor score. The Albury Tigers 14-7-91. The Magpies 10-7-67. That's on the Border Carpet scoreboard. 9 minutes gone, final quarter.
And Dylan Van Berlo knows they just need to kick goals, and it's a free kick. He played on quick, Van Berlo, sent it in the middle of the ground, and giving away an in-the-back free kick was McVeigh. Jesse Wilson, the recipient. He goes out to the showground side. Riley Bice has it here for the Tigers. Left foot kick finds George Hall-and-Smith. It was him or Powell. They could have raffled it, and George Hall-and-Smith will line up from a tight angle, probably about 40 metres out.
And we spoke about it, that Wang are trying to move the ball nice and quick, and that play on there from Van Berlo just signals that, but it's not smart. They've still got to be able to control the footy, moving it deep to try and hit the scoreboard, but again, Albury just a little bit too good in the good positions there, and Jesse Wilson was able to get that free kick, and inside 50 again to George Hall-and-Smith. Riley Bice, his ball movement inside 50 has been fantastic today.
Played the 4 games, has the former Geelong and Gold Coast player. Kicks on the way. The Tigers look home. They'll be hard to catch now. George Hall-and-Smith with a Sunjan goal today, showing his class. Margin out to an even 5 goals on the Border Carpet scoreboard.
On the 40-wing stat sheet, George Hall-and-Smith's been very quiet today. He's only had the 12 disposals, but when he's been around the footy, he's made full impact and kicking a goal there. All their midfielders have now hit the scoreboard. They've had Jake Gaynor's kicked 3, Elliot Powers kicked a goal, Miles kicked a goal, Grills has kicked 1, 4 to Riley Bice as well, and 1 there to George Hall-and-Smith. So when you get your midfielders kicking the goals, it's really, really hard to stop for Wangaratta has been today.
Game high lead of 30 points to the way of the Albury Tigers. Kelly won the tap down, trying to find Elliot Powell. He was wrapped up by Barrett, and we'll have another stoppage in the centre of the ground. Stats tell us that if you kick 95 at WJ Finlay, it's enough to win in every game in 2023, and it looks to be a formula that'll stack up again today. The Magpies go inside 50 now via Sharrock. Well done on the last line of defence from Max Byrne. Takes a brilliant intercept mark for the Tigers and slingshots them out to Elliot Powell on the showgrounds wing.
He looks all right after that slight injury concern, Scott Montgomery.
Yeah, as I said, it was just that ankle. We had it re-strapped and he was straight back out there in that third quarter, so no issues at all for Elliot Powell.
Tough as nails, the Dettering boy.
Mount Beauty boy, mate.
Mount Beauty, Dettering.
Different.
Yeah, well.
They hate each other sometimes.
In cricket especially. Here's Ben Kelly on centre wing in front of the scoreboard, which favours the Albury Tigers. Kelly kicks into the pocket, out the back, Batten. And Conlon gave away a free kick. It's going to go the way here of Luke Saunders. He's done pretty well today in defence for the Wangaratta Magpies. He finds Van Berlo here. He's going to come to the broadcast side. Good kick finds Waitai Tua in the bright blue boots. He wants to come inboard once again, but the Tigers have blocked the corridor.
50 metres, I reckon, boys. Yep, 50-metre penalty. Jimmy Grills just stepped off the mark after Waitai Tua sort of half-stepped the umpire and called play on.
Alrighty, well picked up. Scott Montgomery, boundary side for the Newmarket Hotel. Takes Waitai Tua, just 4 to centre. He chips here to Jesse Smith. He's marked 50 metres out. Set sail. It's coming back. It's not enough. It's through for a minor score. The margin 29. 68 plays 97 on the border carpet scoreboard. 12 minutes gone on the AT Jones time clock, Brad Freak.
If we go around the grounds in the TDFL at the moment, late in the third quarter, 67 Kiwa Sandy Creek lead, Yakandanda 29 in that game.
Nice mark taken there by Wontagong Jim. Grills kicks long down the clubroom side wing. King flies high, beats 2 Magpies. Now Gaynor, he's the beneficiary of a favourable bounce. Kicks inside forward 50. Conlon out in front. I reckon the sun was in his eyes. He dropped an absolute dolly. Over the top, Reece King left it behind. Whistle, free kick. It's a high. Advantage is called inboard for the Wangaratta Magpies. Sharrock has got Porter at true centre half back. Needs to spark some life in this Wangaratta Magpies outfit. Porter ran a hell of a long way onto Boardingyong. Now it's Norton on the showground side for the Magpies. High up and under 40 from home. Juice brought it to ground level. Berry got taken high, and the umpire saw it that way. So Joe Berry, he's a long way from home, so he chips into the pocket. Umpire said not 15. Hollandine to the top of the goal square. Where's Juice? Brings it to ground level. Grills just kicks in a hit and hope. Out towards the boundary line. Is the umpire going to say it was fair? He is. We'll ball the footy back into play. 50 metres out from Wangaratta goal.
Well called, Gus McLeod for Macrae Motors. Blake Penderescott with you. Scott Montgomery and Brad Freak. Qualifying final day. It's been a beauty here in Wangaratta, and we'll be back again tomorrow. Beautifully tapped there by Cal Moore to the advantage of Boardingyong. Pushing up into the contest, Marjanovic, well brought down by Wilson, holding the ball. Ooh. I'm not even sure he really took advantage of it, Scott Montgomery.
Yeah, I'm with you, Panda.
Thank you, Mont. Always good when you agree. Jesse Wilson goes short to Grills. They lead by 29, the Albury Tigers. 97 plays 68. They could be on their way to play against the Yarrawonga Pigeons. As Grills kicks down the broadcast wing, more intercepts for the Pies, but he's going to get going pretty quick, Gus McLeod.
They're going to have to kick at least 6 goals in about 10 minutes of footy. There's still a chance inside forward 50. Newton flew high, the handball, trying to find Smith. Had a bit too much on it for him. Exiting defensive lines is Bryden Hodgson. There's a man down behind.
There's 2 of them, boys, 2 of them. Jesse Smith's one. I think it might be cramp for him, and Juice is the other one.
He's up pretty quick here, Juice. He's a sniff.
Moore finds Porter, top of the goal square, go the Pies. Big contest. Unrealistic, I think, from Juice, to put it nicely.
Is there another word that goes further than unrealistic?
Well, maybe not radio worthy.
Oh, wow.
Free kick to the Albury Tigers. They go short, and the ball's in the hands of Hamish Gilmore.
He's been outstanding today, Brad Sprinkles, Freak.
Yeah, he certainly has been. Played that role on Calmore all day. He's only kicked the 2 goals in that game. If we do a Ray White rule netball update in the TDFL A-grade netball out there between Kiwa and Yakandanda, 37 goals each there with 3 minutes to go in that game.
And of course, Lavington defeating the Wangaratta Magpies as well in the A-grade netball here in the Ovens and Murray. Myrtleford taking on the Raiders tomorrow. It's going to be a beauty in the elimination final. Powell, he's been brought down by Porter. Yep, that is holding the ball. Ash Broughton agrees, and Porter will win a free kick for the Wang Magpies. So after Moore brought the margin back to 12, the early stages of this last quarter, the Tigers have kicked 3 on the bounce. They now lead by 29 points. Harry Smart, the late inclusion here for the Pies, has it on centre wing. Broadcast side, called to play on. It's a hit and hope inside forward 50. Wilson flew really high. Out the back here, Miles. Beautiful kick inboard. Finds O'Hara. The Tigers look home, Gus McLeod. Looks like they'll be playing the Pigeons.
Certainly does, Panda. They're going to break a 1,175-day finals drought here as King flies high, brought it to ground level for the Tigers. Wheels around, finds the trusty left boot to Conlon. He's been a star today, Reece King. Been involved in absolutely everything. And Jacob Conlon will have a look on the sticks for his second in the 4th quarter for Mac Jack Sheds.
Just smart ball movement, hit the ground, picked up the footy straight away, Reece King, and just hit that little short one, made Jacob Conlon come back at him, because I don't think Conlon was going to until that kick hit the boot. So really smart play, Reece King.
Jacob Conlon, this will be right on his range. Kicking to the Evans Street end. This would ice the qualifying final for the Albury Tigers. He plays on, arcs around. Kick doesn't quite have the legs. It's touched on the line for a minor score. The Albury Tigers move to 15-8-98. The Magpies 10-8-68. The Border Carpet scoreboard panned up. I reckon the Albury Tigers have done enough here in the qualifying final.
They certainly have. 17 and a little bit gone on the A.T. Jones time clock. It was a piercing kick out of defence. Involved there was Max Byrne for the Albury Tigers. Gets it back here. Smith has him. Hollandine's attempted clearing kick was smothered and the Magpies get it on the boot, but there's no one forward. The man who's done an outstanding job on Calmore, Hamish Gilmore, intercepts for the Tigers. Goes out really wide, showground side. It's in the hands of Jake Page. Hugs the boundary, kicks to O'Hara. He's got two Magpies to beat. One of them is Sharrock, who has tried his guts out all day for the Pies. He goes short to Porter.
Porter kicks long down the showground side wing. Newton's worked a long way from home, dropped an absolute dolly. Pinballs around, whistle, free kick. Umpire's going to pay advantage to the Tigers. Wilson goes via the corridor. Hall and Smith lost his footing but maintained possession with the mark. And he looks injured.
Cramping, I reckon.
I hope so, Monty. Wilson on the give and go inside 50. Poor kick to put it nicely. Dribbles towards the boundary line. O'Hara was clever. Garlett lost his footing. Regathered and gathered possession. Right foot Chisler trying to find Big Ben Kelly. He's got a bit of work to do against Sharrock. Well done, Kelly. Picked it up and kicked towards the goal square. The Magpies have numbers. They just bomb it long down the line. O'Brien, left flat-footed, inboard. Was Hollandine intercepted now the Tigers with Miles inside 50. Not the best kick. O'Hara was the target. Goes towards the boundary line. And I'll tell you what, boys, the Albury Tigers have been absolutely clinical today. They lead by 30 points here, Panda. And I'll tell you what, they're going to have a big contest coming up next week against the Pigeons.
Yeah, George Hall and Smith just looked like it was a bit of an ankle. It was a bit of an awkward one as he gathered that ball at half forward. 98 plays 68 on the Border Carpet scoreboard. Around 20 minutes gone on the A.T. Jones time clock. It's not long enough for the Wangaratta Magpies. Have been gallant. We know there are a couple of charges down in 2023. Their coach, Ben Reid, he's got his arm in a sling down there. They certainly have had moments today, the Wangaratta Magpies. The Tigers have just been too clinical. Lucas Conlon goes short to Max Byrne. Chiseling kick inboard through the hands of, I think it was O'Brien. Comes to the way of the Magpies. Dane Porter running back, took it on his chest. Wants to move it on quickly. Finds McVeigh. Well done there by Jim Grills. Spills out here to Fraser Ellis. Wants to show a little bit of candy. Hand passes to Dan Sharrock. Steadies from 40 and goals it. A great finish from Dan Sharrock. A little too late for the Wangaratta Magpies. It's back to 4 goals. 98 plays 74.
If we go Ray White Rural netball update on the TDFL A grade at the moment, Yakandanda have won that final between them and Kiwa Sandy Creek by a goal, 40 to 39. So Yakandanda straight through to the big dance in a couple of weeks' time, and obviously their seniors are planning to hopefully do the same thing at the moment as well, Gussie.
Wow, massive result there in the A grade netball in the TDFL. Of course, Kiwa
undefeated, weren't it?
Yeah, only lost. Well, they lost round 1, I should say, Monty.
Did they?
Haven't lost the game since. So. Big action at the TDFL and even bigger action here in the O&M. 98 plays 74. The Tigers are going to take on the Yarrawonga Pigeons next week for a spot at the big dance. Free kick in the centre. It's going to go the way of Jake Gaynor. He's been electric today, Freaky.
Yeah, he's had the 23 disposals and kicked the 3 goals. And Anthony Miles is another one. He's up to 27 disposals now and kicked the 1 goal as well.
I think it's the ball use today from those guys, though. Gus McLeod, Miles and Gaynor, they have not missed any targets and they've been aggressive with their kicks back into the corridor.
So's this bloke, George Hall-and-Smith, in only his 5th game for the season. Kicks to half forward. Cam Barrett got a fist as good as a kick. Reece King's there for the Tigers. He takes it across the boundary line for a boundary throw in. Monty for the Newmarket Hotel. Wouldn't be surprised if the Tigers bring a couple of the Ferraris into the shed.
Yeah, I reckon they'll do that very soon. Obviously, Michael Duncan already off, so they've only got 3 spots on there. But I reckon a few of the boys that are a bit sore and a few of the old boys might be the ones that come off.
And, of course, we'll be with you every step of the way throughout this O&M final series. We'll be again tomorrow across the road at the Normans Oval for our netball broadcast. And for the elimination final between the Rovers and the Dogs as Conlon marks tied up against the boundary. Could probably kick this, Jacob Conlon, and it would take an almighty effort. He'll probably kick from 52, very tight up against the boundary showground side.
Let's take the 30 seconds anyway at this point of the game, Pandy. Let the clock run out, and I reckon he's every chance from here.
I reckon he is. He's kicked 4 goals, 3 in the second quarter, in a run of 7 for the Albury Tigers. He stormed home this year, 16 goals in his last 5 home and away games. Jacob Conlon for 5. Oregon, it's got there. The Tigers will be celebrating tonight. An even 5-goal margin. Jake's got 5. And they'll take on the Pigeons next week. 22 minutes played on the A.T. Jones time clock.
Yeah, really beautiful finish there from Jacob Conlon. They've taken the 5 marks inside forward 50 in this last quarter. They've taken 15 in the game. They've taken 11 of those in the second half, where Wang Magpies have only taken 2 marks inside forward 50 on the 40-wing stat sheet. So we've just been able to see when the Albury ball users have gone forward, as you touched on as well, Panda. They've been lowering their eyes and been able to find their targets inside their forward 50, and it's really helped itself onto the scoreboard now. 1,175 days the last time the Tigers tasted success in September. And they're going to be a very tough opposition for the Pigeons next week. 104 plays 74. The Tigers lead the Pies. Inside forward 50 sends the football via Majanovic. Top of the goal square, Moore with one hand. Berry's crumbing for the Pies. His kick wasn't great. He was tackled as he kicked. And Max Byrne, who's done a pretty good job on Joe Berry today and looks to be a real promising youngster. He'll be the recipient of a free kick for out of bounds on the full. 23, almost 24 minutes gone. The Tigers will lap this one up, Panda.
They certainly will. Of course, tomorrow, as I said, bring you all the action on 2AY, 3NE, O&M Optus TV. The Rovers up against the Wodonga Bulldogs. First time in finals action since 2009 for them. Hodgson not able to mark. McVeigh's kick off the side of the boot. Goes out of bounds on the full. Brad Freak for 40 winks.
Yeah, if we go around the grounds of the TDFL at the moment, looks like Kiwa, Sandy Creek will be through to the senior football grand final there. They lead Yakandanda 3 minutes gone into the last quarter, 73-29.
Anytime fitness player of the day. Who are you thinking, Monty? There's a few in contention.
There's plenty, mate. There's plenty. You blokes been throwing through little hints to me, but I won't listen to any of them, I don't reckon, because...
Monty, I think it'd be easy to tell you who can't win it. You can tell you who could.
I just like a couple of feelers from you, Mont.
Are you going to give it to yourself, Mont, with a couple of nearly touches today?
I've been so good for my nearly touches, I'll tell you what. They've been so clean.
Nearly touches, hey? What's this world come to?
I had a lot of those in my early time.
Marjanovic for the Pies. Rebounds from this stoppage. Goes the overrunning handball. Finds its way to Sharrock. He's been a star today. Kicks fat side and juice. Michael Newton marks out in front. Been his best game I've seen him play potentially all year today, Michael Newton. Unfortunately, hasn't had much support. He'll have a set shot 20 metres out directly in front.
Again, Dan Sharrock, he has not stopped working, does he? He's that guy that just goes all day long, and he's been fantastic again today for Wangaratta Magpies, and that was a great kick too. On the offside of the boot, just put it out in front of Juice, and strong hands again from Juice, and I reckon you're nearly right, Gus. Nearly one of the best games he's played all year.
It was one of our scorecard questions. He plays well when he's fresh, does Big Juice. Michael Newton to the bar reserve end. This will be for 5, and he sneaks it in. Juice has got 5, the Magpies have got 12, but it's too little too late. The Albury Tigers 104, the Wangaratta Magpies 80. That's thanks to the team with Marty at Border Carpets. Almost 26 minutes gone. Too little too late.
As you touched on in that passage of play, Dan Sharrock, he's had the 8 disposals in this last term. He's tried really hard all day for his side. He's up to 28 disposals for the game. And Dane Porter, the captain of the Wangaratta Magpies, as you'd expect, has fought really hard all day. He's had the 7 disposals in this last quarter as well. Takes him up to 24. If we look at the Albury side of things, Anthony Miles, Riley Bice, George Hall and Smith all had 4 disposals in this last quarter. And Jake Gaynor's had the 6 in the last term.
Back in the middle, Big Benny Kelly up against Chris Knowles. Been a wonderful ruck duel today. I think probably give the points to Muller. Putting his head over the football there was Marjanovic in the middle of the ground. Shovelled forward by Gaynor. Norton wins it here for the Pies. On to Sharrock, that man who keeps on trying. We know how much he's probably going to feature on Morris Medal night. Free kick at half forward here from Jesse Smith. Looks a little bit sore, limping.
Get the pickle juice, Panda.
Yeah, get it out. A few boys cramping as well. Smith sends a high one inside forward 50. Moore up against 2 Tigers. Gilmore's had his probably measure all day. There's a whistle here.
Yeah, it's going to be abuse, I think, against Calmore, boys.
Is it? Alrighty.
Well, it's deep in the pocket, and Juice is a bit slow to get up, but...
Yeah, so they played down the field, so it'll be Brandon O'Hara's free kick. It was against, Calmore. He had a fair bit to say to Ash Broughton then.
I reckon Hamish Gilmore might have copped one as well, boys.
Around the throat or jaw, it looks like.
I was going to say, maybe right in the Adam's apple. That's where he's grabbing right at his neck area.
Yeah, awkward place.
Not where you want him, Panda.
No, there's worse parts, but anyway. We're going to have a free kick
Where
here.
are they?
I'm not sure.
Oh, the head would be one.
Yeah, yep. In the defensive 50
The
here for
funny
the Tigers. Funny bone's an awkward
But
one,
it's
isn't
funny.
it? 104 plays 80 on the border carpet scoreboard. The siren sounds in Wangaratta, and the Tigers will meet the Pigeons next week in a big semi-final for a spot in the grand final. 104 plays 80. The Tigers too good in the qualifying final. Their first finals win, Gus McLeod, in 1,175 days.
It doesn't quite sound right saying that, Panda, because of how strong an outfit the Albury Tigers are, but I tell you what, they've broken that hoodoo, Panda, that has been sitting with them for the last couple of seasons, claiming a win in September. We knew they were going to start favourites today, but they were challenged by a really gallant Wangaratta Magpies outfit. I know the Magpies have probably got a little bit better in them as well, Panda. Whoever wins tomorrow, they're going to have to go a very long way to knock off this Wangaratta Magpies outfit. I expect them to bounce back and put up a big show next week. But the Albury Tigers, they'll celebrate this win, Panda. It means so much to their football club, and I tell you what, it sets up a mouth-watering major semi-final against the minor premiers, the Yarrawonga Pigeons, next week.
Certainly, they just look so clinical all day. It was their ball use. It was their big gun midfield players as well. Anthony Miles, it was his best game I've seen him play since returning from that ankle injury. Jake Gaynor is in sensational form as well. I tell you what, if the season went another 10 weeks, he'd be up there in the Morris medal. He had an outstanding game today. Riley Bice kicked 4 goals as well. He was big early. And they're just too strong. Too many contributors, the Albury Tigers. Scott Montgomery, I'm not really sure where he is. He's down there with Brad Sprinkle's freak. They got the Anytime Fitness sign. A very happy Albury Tigers lineup. And they have found Jakey Gaynor. He was absolutely outstanding, was the man from Wagga. And he's going to be joined boundary side by Scotty Montgomery, our Anytime Fitness Player of the Day.
Yeah, boys, joined by Jake Gaynor, mate. Really good performance today by yourself and by the boys, and finally get back on the board. First win since 2018 in the finals.
Yeah, it's super. Everyone played their role. Like, you go from LC at fullback to Hamish Gilmore to big Isaac Moe in the ruck. It's just a team first effort there, and it was super.
And to be able to bring so many guys in this week with so much experience, George Holland-Smith, Anthony Miles, guys like that, really just boosted you guys up and were able to really put it out there.
Yeah, those boys are super. They're super leaders, super people, and you just show when they play footy, they just understand the game so well, and they just take it under their wing and get all us young blokes to follow them.
And personally, mate, great effort today, and your formal year's been fantastic. Did you do much over the pre-season differently to be able to carry this for the whole year?
Yeah, so I played with a broken ankle all last year, and that sort of hesitated me form, really. So had surgery, got that right, and now I'm starting to feel good and pain-free, so that's been a massive part.
Well, mate, it's showing you're playing pain-free and you're absolutely killing them. So good luck next week in Yarrawonga and get in there and celebrate.
Cheers.
Scott Montgomery, boundary side with Jake Gaynor, our Anytime Fitness Player of the Day. We knew that he'd had ankle troubles, but I tell you what,
broken
ankle. I mean, he was in a moon boot, though, at some stages last year, but his class and his ball use today was just outstanding. And when you combine that with Miles, you combine that with Bice, George Holland-Smith, Tommy O'Brien, Reece King, they are an outstanding outfit. They're going to take some serious stopping, the Albury Tigers. And it sets up, as you said, Gus McLeod, a mouth-watering game against the Yarrawonga Pigeons. Scott Montgomery just talking back there with Andrew Moyer. We might miss the song, Monty, if he doesn't get a bit of a move on here.
No, he's pretty lackadaisical.
Yeah, he's our man, Mont. Deary me.
He'll back his ability to get in.
I think he'd want to get that song. He'd want to get on a move on. We might see Scott Montgomery on the jog here, actually.
Yeah, we're going to see him. He's going to get out of first gear here, Mont. Now watch those calves, Mont.
Yeah, there they go. As Andrew Moyle waves hello there as well. The Albury Tigers too good by 4 goals here on 2AY and 3&E. 104 plays 80. And it's going to be a mouth-watering game at Martin Park next week, and O&M Live will bring you the action in the big second semi-final. We'll keep you updated on what's happening out in the TDFL as well. Of course, our O&M Live coverage out there between Kiwa, Sandy Creek and Yakandanda. Quickly a score update, Gus McLeod.
86 plays 35. The Hawks are home.
Here's the Tigers. with Yarrawonga awaits next week at Martin Park. The Tigers too good by 4 goals, 104 to 80 on O&M Live, where you won't miss a thing.
We're clear.
Thanks, mate. Good on you, Trenner.
Well done, guys.
Good work, boys.
Guzzles, well done, mate.
Nice work, guys.
Looking for somewhere great to eat? Check out Social Dining and Bar. And right now, you can get a crumbed barramundi fillet served with chips and dill hollandaise from just $22. Come and be part of it all at Social Dining and Bar at the SS&A.
Pain or injury can stop you from living life to the fullest. Albury-Wodonga Private Hospital specialises in advanced orthopaedic services and offers a full range of care from diagnosis to surgery and rehabilitation. Get back to the life you love with our support.
Go where you can live and learn locally. Go where students come first. Go for the choice of 120 courses across 11 campuses. Go for it with GoTAFE.
0.0% alcohol. This changes everything.
Rewrite the rules. Carlton Zero.
Adroit Insurance and Risk, your local insurance advisor, able to tailor insurance programs to support your business.
And we're proud to support our local community.
How many subscriptions do you have? One for entertainment? And one for news? And meditation? One for sport? And one for music? Whatever you're into, you can now manage select paid subscriptions in one place and save up to 10% with Optus SubHub. Discover what's trending and save by bundling them all together. Streamline your subscriptions with Optus SubHub. It starts with yes.
GoTAFE is hiring, and we want you on our team. Flexibility, professional development, generous remuneration, and a staff wellbeing program are just a few of the great benefits we offer. If you have a passion for your skill or qualification and you're looking for real work-life balance, then GoTAFE is the place for you.
GoTAFE is leading,
Inspiring.
hands-on,
Flexible. Fabulous.
We have dozens of trainer positions and corporate roles open right now. Get in touch today.
At 2AY, we're your home of live sport. Every weekend we bring you the best live broadcasts of the Ovens and Murray football and netball. Listen this weekend on your radio or the 2AY app.